was bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, Ice Cubes.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi with Thursday's crucial NFC West showdown against the Seahawks looming. The Rams are still hoping receiver Devontae Adams will be able to play in.
To be able to be at his size to do what he does on the court is obviously it's generational, and he's a hell of a talent, a hell of a player.
Karl Anthony Towns on the NBA on ESPN Radio. Spurs could bring Wemby off the bench in his second game back after missing a month with a calf strain. Indiana's Kirk Cignetti, the AP College Football Coach of the Year for a second consecutive year.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Wednesday, I'll tell you if Liam Cohen has truly fixed Trevor Lawrence or if his play has been a byproduct of their soft schedule. It's Unsportsmanlike, weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride! Woo!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Cassie Spazzali.
Oh, look what you made me do. Look what you made me do.
You chose wisely. Muso. And Mr. Toby Tom Blake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Shea Dixon in 15 minutes. Led to Norman, Oklahoma. Eddie Radosevich next hour. Sean Salisbury, hour 3. Ton to do. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
The transfer portal is going to open, as we know, on January the 2nd. And I'm not sure that there is a soul more excited about that prospect than the LSU head football coach Lane Kiffin. Still taking some getting used to saying all that. But if you follow Lane Kiffin on Twitter, which I'm guessing many of you do, he is clearly an early riser. Today at 4:39 a.m., there's Lane Kiffin with a tweet that says, "Keep grinding." There's a photo of Tiger Stadium, the LSU football operations building, and it says hashtag 1226. That's January 2nd, 2026. That is the day the transfer portal opens. Very clearly, the self-proclaimed portal king has his eyes set on the transfer portal. And at the top of LSU's wish list, needs list, is going to be getting a quarterback in this portal class. Now, I want to take a little bit of time here because as we get closer to that, we're going to start getting more and more information about what direction LSU may go because we're going to learn what players are going in the portal. We're going to learn more about who LSU might be targeting, all that sort of stuff. But what we know right now is that LSU has one scholarship quarterback. It's Michael Van Buren. Colin Hurley is taking a leave from the team. Garrett Nussmeier's out of eligibility. Juwan Johnson is planning to enter the transfer portal after the bowl game. So you have one. And I don't think there's any guarantee that Van Buren stays with this team. So you may have none, which is a very tenuous spot. You didn't sign one in the December signing period. All the top 2026 quarterbacks are gone. I think we're going to have to sort of reframe how we look at the quarterback position, especially in the high school ranks, because it's pretty clear what Lane Kiffin wants to do, which is go get transfers. It seems like the non-skill guys, he's willing, like if you're not the one scoring touchdowns, then he can recruit and develop. But the quarterbacks, receivers, running backs, tight ends, cornerbacks. He wants to go in the portal and get those guys. And so we may just have to reshape how we think about, well, you got to sign a quarterback every year. Maybe not. Because if they ain't sitting and staying and developing and you don't have time to let them go through the growing pains because the expectation is win now, you got to go get guys that can win now. So we'll kind of start to look at some of these players who might be targets for LSU at quarterback in the transfer portal. The one that's certainly the first one we need to talk about is Trinidad Chambliss. So he's the Ole Miss starting quarterback, and everybody by now knows his story. He was at Division II Ferris State. He was going to sign with Temple. And then Ole Miss, Charlie Weiss Jr., Lane Kiffin, they see him on Twitter, and they offer him. He goes to basically be Austin Simmons' backup. Simmons starts the season. He gets injured. Chambliss goes in. He plays really well, and Simmons gets Wally pipped. So now, here you have this guy in Trinidad Chambliss who has appealed for an extra year of eligibility with the NCAA. That has not been granted as of yet, but if it is granted, what does that mean for Chambliss? Chambliss was asked that at the media availability before the first round of the playoff game about his future and what he might do.
Trinidad, if you do get that waiver, would you anticipate, if it's college, being at Ole Miss, or would you have to consider everything because that's part of it? It's all year to year. So, what would be your considerations in that way?
Yeah, no, definitely. You hit it right on the nail. I would have to consider like what the best situation is for me, what I feel most comfortable with, who I trust the most, and just get a feel for every possibility really. So there's a lot that goes into that.
That certainly doesn't sound like a guy that is pot committed to being back in Oxford next year. Now, I understand from Trinidad Chambliss's perspective this point, which is to say that dude was at Division II Ferris State. He was going to go to Temple, ends up as the backup at Ole Miss. Now, I was told the NIL number he got at Ole Miss this year. I don't know that I'm comfortable because it's single source saying the number, but suffice to say it was not six figures. So you have a starting quarterback in the college football playoff where dudes are making seven figures. I mean, we've heard stories of guys making $3, $4, $5 million. Carson Beckett, Miami. I mean, go down the list. And Trinidad Chambliss is starting for Ole Miss, has them in the college football playoff, and his NIL deal that he got to go to Ole Miss wasn't even six figures. Now he's got an NIL deal right now with one of the cell service companies, the transfer portal commercial, which is funny. So he'll get paid there. But the point is, if he is granted another year, he's got to maximize that year. And maybe that's at Ole Miss, but he owes it to himself to go into the portal to say, okay, let's have a bidding war, because he's not an NFL prospect. He's undersized. He doesn't have a great arm. Like, he doesn't check any of the measurables that the NFL is looking for. So that's not going to be a highly regarded NFL prospect. He's got like Pavia this year. You have an opportunity to go back to school, make money, go back to school and make money. Maximize your ability to earn while you can. So absolutely following Lane Kiffin and Charlie Weiss to Baton Rouge would make a lot of sense for Trinidad Chambliss. Now, depending on what happens with Chambliss could affect what happens with Austin Simmons, the other quarterback there at Ole Miss. And Simmons, Simmons is a prodigy, right? He's the guy, I had a baseball scout buddy of mine tell me that he would have been a top 3-round guy coming out of high school. 97 from the left side. Like, that just doesn't happen a lot. So, but he chose football as a path. His dad's a coach. And his dad was on Nevin Shapiro's podcast and was Austin Simmons' dad was on Nevin Shapiro. Remember the Miami booster got in all the trouble? On his podcast, and they were talking about Lane Kiffin and the decision he made, Kiffin leaving, and the whole situation with Austin Simmons.
The thing with Charlie Weiss went with him too. The whole offensive staff just about went with him. So Austin would be plug and play. I mean, I'm not a fool. So we don't have an issue with Lane personally. It's business. Mm-hmm. So I know other people understand that, hey, you should be upset. Why? Yes. He did get hurt. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I'm a coach.
You know how it goes.
I done bench my own son. So I bench my own son that's here now. So if you get hurt, get out.
So in that soundbite, Austin Simmons' dad, understanding the decision to bench his son, he went on to compliment Trinidad Chambliss the way he played, but he also said, they oversimplified the offense, they slowed the pace, all that stuff for when they put Chambliss in. he also said point blank, like, our goal this year, our goal was to win the Heisman and win the national championship, and I believe that would have happened if Austin hadn't gotten hurt. I think he's crazy because Austin Simmons wasn't playing well at the beginning of the season. But as I understand it, talking to people in and around Ole Miss, this is one of those overbearing fathers. Like, I had someone describe it to me like as the Todd Marinovich type situation where the dad is like grooming the son for this. And it sounds like, despite what David Simmons, Austin's father, said in this podcast, from folks I spoke with at Ole Miss, it sounds like he was very upset that his son got benched, and that Austin Simmons coming to Baton Rouge to follow Lane Kiffin and Charlie Weiss would not very likely be a realistic possibility. Now, he contradicts that in this interview where he says, yeah, they would go to LSU if the opportunity was there. So those are probably the conversation starters. If Chambliss goes in the portal, can LSU get him to Baton Rouge? If Chambliss goes or stays at Ole Miss or goes somewhere else, is Austin Simmons in play? From my understanding, talking to folks today around Ole Miss, that's probably not realistic, the Austin Simmons piece of it. We'll see. And then there's all the other conversations about portal quarterbacks. I have not heard anyone around LSU mention Sam Leavitt. I know that's something that a lot of LSU fans have mentioned because Leavitt is a high-profile guy. Bet Online put out odds today for these portal quarterbacks. We got these up for free at LouisianaSports.net if you want. So Brendan Sorsby, 2 years at Indiana, then the last 2 years at Cincinnati. Sorsby, they have his odds up. For what it's worth, LSU, they have as the third best odds there at 4-1. So Texas Tech, Miami, both playoff teams that are going to be replacing their quarterback. Then LSU, so Sorsby's third there. After Sorsby, the other ones that I think people are going to be really interested in, maybe the most interesting, is DJ Lagway. They have Baylor as the betting favorite to land DJ Lagway at 3-1, but LSU right behind at plus 350. Followed by Miami, Texas Tech, UCLA, Alabama, others. I know there's going to be people here who roll their eyes about Lagway, and I don't blame you. The interceptions have been a problem. He's also been injured for 2 seasons and basically missed the entire offseason this year while recovering from surgery and was just thrown out. I mean, he didn't start practicing this year until 2 weeks before the opener. And it showed. But Lagway also has amazing physical ability. And what I was told today is that Lane Kiffin thinks very highly of DJ Lagway. So from my perspective, I think where this conversation probably starts is Chambliss, Simmons, the Ole Miss guys. And if you land either one of those guys, great. Familiarity with the system, plug and play, ready-made, got it. If not, the next guy probably at the top of the list at this point would probably be DJ Lagway, depending on who else goes in the portal. But we're going to continue to follow this because the way I understand that they're working over there is they've got their board, their big board, and it's broken down by prospects, and it's all right, who's in the portal, and they'll just shift and adjust, basically prioritizing their board. As someone is committed to or signed somewhere else, they're off the board, and then you're just organizing based on needs and prioritizing players within those position groups. So I haven't personally looked at LSU's quarterback board. I'm trying to piece this together. I've not spoken to Lane Kiffin or Billy Glasscock, the GM, but I'm trying to piece together what that board probably looks like based on a lot of conversations that I've had with people close to and around the program and around Kiffin and Billy Glasscock. So as this develops, we'll follow it because there's no bigger decision that's going to be made than which premier quarterback LSU signs in the portal starting at the beginning of January. All right, it's after further review. Tigers, of course, did not sign a quarterback in the December signing period. Shea Dixon visits with us every single Tuesday. So we'll chat with Shea as we come back. Our show open every day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of the Tigers, the official beer of the Saints. If you're at that holiday party, make sure you got plenty of delicious ice-cold Bud Light. Maybe you're hosting that holiday party. Make sure you got plenty of ice-cold Bud Light for your guests. Going to your favorite watering hole, going to your favorite restaurant to have dinner. Remember to drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of the LSU Tigers. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break. Tuesday shows are powered by Sunshine. Shay Dixon will be with us next, and then we're heading to Norman in about 45 minutes to preview Bama, Oklahoma from the Oklahoma side of things. That's coming up on AFR.
AFR.
Always love telling you about Glow Resources because they're a great local business that helps other businesses, not just locally, but all over the country, thrive. At Glow Resources, they're fond of saying we're complete employer solutions. Their slogan used to be complete employee solutions, but they changed it because as they sort of examine what they do, truly, yes, they'll help you find employees, but they don't work for the employee. They're not a temp staffing agency. As a matter of fact, if you're looking for a job, they always say, look, don't call us. They'll find you. Who Glow Resource wants to talk to is you, the business owner, you, the hiring manager, the HR manager. If you're in charge of finding the right people for your business to maximize efficiency, Glow Resources can help. So start online at glowresources.com. And it's important to remember that no matter where you're listening or watching, they can help. Glow Resources, while they're based in Baton Rouge, they help businesses they have offices all over. They help businesses all over the country, place employees all over the world. GLO, glowresources.com.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Trust isn't given, it's earned. On the field, I trust my team. For my healthcare, I trust the lake.
Our Lady of the Lake sports medicine experts know what it takes to improve performance and build champions at every level. That's why LSU chose Our Lady of the Lake as its championship health partner, trusting Louisiana's best medical team to care for our state's best athletes. From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
I trust the lake.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith with Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates. We take great pride in educating our clients about their rights. Whether you're injured at work or while you drive, call our office at 272-5555. Knowledge is power, and you should know your rights after an injury.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan of Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates. When insurance companies have been unfair, we've never been afraid to go to trial. Fighting hard to protect your rights, we never settle a case out of convenience. We only settle when it's right for you. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Supreme Jasmine is premium American-grown rice. From local farms to your table, every grain is supreme. Pick up a bag of Jasmine or any other of our Supreme American rice.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Rolling along, Tuesdays AFR. We are powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Remember, 10% off all John Deere toys. Great gift this Christmas. Make sure you swing by any of your Sunshine dealers. Shay Dixon, on 3, the Bengal Tiger, good enough to join us as he does every Tuesday. Shady, how are you, man?
I'm doing well. How are you, Matt?
Doing awesome. It's interesting to look at Lane Kiffin tweeting at 4:30 in the morning and tweeting the date that the transfer portal window opens, that he's so singularly focused. Do you have a sense yet in those circles how he and Billy Glasscock are looking to build this roster, balancing high school, recruiting and the portal?
Well, we do know it at least that on the high school front, you brought in a smaller class than normal, and it was pacing that way throughout the fall and after the summer months when most of the kids had committed. But now they're all signed, so you walk away 14 guys on the team, and pound for pound here, I mean, they are the number one class on Rivals in average rating per commitment. So that's saying something. You're edging out Oregon, Bama, Georgia, the other top teams, Matt. And then you look at Lamar Brown, all those guys, Richard Anderson, these are guys that can help in the D-line early. So that coupled with retention, who you certainly believe, hey, we want them on the team and they're not going pro, so they're coming back, or we need to convince not to go pro, whatever it might be. That's what you're doing right now if you're Lane Kiffin, because when January 2nd opens, as you've talked plenty about, the portal is ongoing now. It might be a 14-day window when you can make visits and all of that, but right now everybody's kind of getting a feel for what their roster could look like and what holes really need to be addressed. And I think the most fanfare comes with quarterback.
Is there so Shay, they have one quarterback on the roster right now, and I don't even know if Michael Van Buren's going to be back. I mean, it's certainly up in the air. Is there any possibility of adding a high school quarterback in the February signing period?
There really aren't many left that I would know of. Now, look, Lane and that staff found Trinidad Chambliss on Twitter. So, what do I know? Maybe they found somebody out there. But I would lean more towards, Matt, the potential or what could become a reality that they leave that early or the only portal window with two quarterbacks out of the portal. And obviously it's tough to say you're going to get two guys who think they're starting, but perhaps like Michael Van Buren a year ago, knowing, hey, I'll be behind a guy for a year, perhaps, and then it sets up for the following season. So a lot of ways this could go, but I would lean more towards two portal quarterbacks than a portal and a high school guy at this stage.
All right, man. You'd still be so thin on numbers, but it'll be fascinating to see how they make all this work. Shay, do you sense that there will be any other prospects that might be targets in the February signing period?
Most guys, I mean, you saw it with LSU, right? Like the 5 stars were debating holding out and they ended up signing. Now, with all of the transition from, coaches being fired, new hirings happening, really all that Sunday, 72 hours before the early signing period, you would have thought that more kids might have held off. But now so often they're early enrollees. They need to be in campus by January. They've got NIL and rev share and all of that involved. So they're a little bit more pressed to make a decision maybe than before. And just glancing up and down sort of the who's who of SEC offers, whether it was at Ole Miss or LSU, most of these guys are committed. So you're really now focused on retention and the portal, the 14-day window in January.
Shay Dixon on 3, the Bengal Tiger. All right, let's talk retention, then we'll talk portal. We already know that 7 guys have announced their intention, anyway, to enter the transfer portal. Quite honestly, Shay, I thought the number would be bigger by now, and I'm sure it could certainly still grow. But as you look at retention, where do you think the key pieces are for Lane Kiffin, Billy Glasscock right now?
I think they've got to be the most talented people on your roster, even above, that guy who might be in, it's not a quarterback right now, but, on the verge of saying, hey, I could go pro or not. An AJ Halsey type, if he's got to wait towards another year, does a guy who might be drafted in the first 3 rounds, decide to come back? Those are always important, but keeping DJ Pickett, keeping Harlan Berry, keeping any of these young linemen that you like a lot on both sides of the ball, obviously. Looking around at receiver, you're going to be thin there. You're going to be heavy in the portal, but finding a way to keep the receivers that you do, if you're Lane Kiffin, like in your offense, what guys like Kyle Parker, right? Guys like all the way down to Teron Francis, who people have kind of held in high regard coming out of Ed Nakar, and as a freshman takes a backseat to all the other veterans. But now that that room's clearing out, does he stick around and become more of a weapon? But I do think that really you have to start with what the guys who would be on campus the longest and have the biggest impact, in my mind, goes straight to DJ Pickett on defense and a guy like Harlan Berry on offense.
Let's dig in a little deeper there on Harlan Berry, Shea, because to say that Frank Wilson's future on staff is up in the air is probably an understatement. That if I had to guess at this point, I would say Frank's not going to be back at LSU. To the best that you know, how much might that impact Harlan Berry's future at LSU?
Yeah, I mean, I got to know Harlan and his father well through the recruiting process, probably as good as anyone in that class, as well as anyone. And I haven't reached out or asked anything on, the speculation of it or anything of that nature. I wonder to myself as I pondered it, Barry is a New Orleans kid. LSU, I mean, I don't even know if he made other visits, Matt, is that if Frank Wilson is not part of this staff, and let's say he does go elsewhere, and he's got a, you're at another big time school, and there's a spot for a player. Let's just say Ole Miss, right? Okay, Ole Miss. Does Harlan Berry follow him? I wonder more if a Caden Durham doesn't follow him. Someone who isn't from Louisiana, was Frank's primary recruit, and yeah, look, you'll be monitoring both of them because.
Okay, we'll try to reconnect there. I don't know what Shea just went into the abyss there, right, as he was getting into talking about Caden Durham. I'll have him pick up with the Caden Durham thought when we get him back here in just a sec. We're brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints, Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. Hey, remember, if you're like me and you got Christmas and holiday parties coming up left and right, Rouse's has a great resource at the website. If you go to Rouse's.com, there's a bunch of holiday cooking ideas, your holiday menu ideas at the website, Rouse's.com. So make sure you go check it out there, Rouse's.com, and for the complete holiday meals over at the website. You can always check out the Facebook page as well. They do a great job of doing videos explaining and displaying how to do how to cook a variety of different things over at Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com. Listen, if it's your hot bar menu, if it's you're getting all of your sweets, your sweet treats for that holiday party, your grab and go options, all of your wine, beer, bourbon, they got it all for you over at Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com. Rouse's. This feels like home. Okay, no go on Shea. We're just gonna call him on a cell. Yep. Okay. We'll try to get Shea back here in just a sec. Wanted to get a few more here in with Shea while we have time. I was asking Shea about Harlan Berry. And Shea, you pivoted, you started talking about Caden Durham, and that's where you went into the cell phone abyss. So let's pick up, if we could, with Caden Durham.
Yeah, I mean, I wondered if just as much of a guy like Durham might be more of someone who would follow, given Berry kind of took over some playing time. Durham's not from here. He was Frank Wilson's lone recruit, just like Berry. Or I guess that wasn't true. J.T. Lindsey was in that class, but Durham was the only guy he signed 2 years ago and has played a good bit. So, yeah, Frank's not on the staff. You're monitoring what is a very thin room, which we've described as a few of these, which is why I think everybody is so eager to see what Lane, the self-proclaimed portal king, I guess, paraphrasing it over time, can do. Because, boy, they need a lot of help at a number of positions. And it doesn't feel as dire as it did a year ago, maybe, but I still think you need that type of numbers where you could hit 20 here, Matt.
Yeah. You're going to need to, because you're losing a ton, as well as just guys that are out of eligibility and key players. I mean, 6 of your top 7 snaps defensively are gone. So aside from quarterback, Shea, let's flip it and look at what those primary targets are going to be. Aside from quarterback, where do you think the work really needs to be and the focus needs to be in the portal come Jan 2?
I think running back is one. We just talked about it. If you lose one of those guys, right, even one of them, you're down to, one scholarship running back if Juwan Johnson doesn't return? So, you're flirting with disaster. So you've got to get multiple guys at running back. Wide receiver, you just noted it. That room's clearing out. You're older guys from Aaron Anderson to Xavion Thomas and Barry Brown. All of them are going to be moving on, and we'll see the next wave of guys who some have played like Kyle Parker, others haven't, but that will be heavy in the portal for the staff with Kiffin. And then I look at, Trey Des Green, yes, you need to hit on the tight end probably that gives you more than Bauer Sharp did this year. And then we get to the O-line, and I don't know what direction you go. Does Braylon Moore come back? If not, how much are you shuffling up an O-line where some guys are out of eligibility? I guess Josh Thompson, who might have been one of your certainly better top 2 O-linemen that you had out there, and then the young guys who we got to see a handful of them, kind of who do they ride with, and then who do they go into the portal and try to get at a new position. And I say all that before really, for me, I get to any spot on defense beyond probably who is the replacement for, if Halsey's gone, Halsey, your top safety, kind of who steps into that spot. And it could very well be Cooley and Spears.
It's going to be a fascinating test case into how Lane Kiffin plans to build a roster, and we're less than a month away here from finding out what steps they're going to take. He's Shea Dixon on 3, the Bengal Tiger. Get him on Twitter at Shea Dixon. Always appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
All right, man. Be well. It is After Further Review. Our Tuesday shows are powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Pretty fired up about this, too. So my buddy Rooney has built a wooden lane train. It'll be sponsored by Sunshine. They'll be on display until they burn it on Christmas Eve. Part of the big ceremony in the levee every Christmas Eve. So if you want to get by and take photos of it, you can. We'll get more details coming up in just a bit. Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. All right, well, now I got a quick break. Y'all go around the SEC. One national college football reporter is not yet putting to bed the possibility of Kalen DeBoer to Michigan. We'll let you hear why when we come back, and we'll go around the SEC on AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. Spell it out, O-N-E, 1hourbr.com. I always love sharing these great 5-star Google reviews with you because so many of your friends and neighbors trust River City's 1 Hour Air just like I did. Neil sent this 5-star review, said, I called River City's 1 Hour on a Friday night at 9 p.m. Service call was scheduled. Saturday, first thing. Cody, the technician, was outstanding. Fair pricing. Work was done well. Very satisfied. Tell you all the time. At River City's 1 Hour Air, they always work nights and weekends because if your AC or your heater goes out at night or on the weekends, you need to have it repaired. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. They're always on time or you don't pay a dime. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with a giant clock on the side. 752-0001, 752-0001.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here. We eat out here. We watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
South Louisiana, it's turnaround season, and River Parish Contractors is calling in the best of the best. We're hiring pipe fitters, iron workers, boiler makers, combo and structural welders, rig welders, carpenters, crane operators, dirt operators, and more. If you're ready to work, ready to earn, and ready to build something that lasts, call Big Jake at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even JB could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of JB Falgout.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Blessed Children's School.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. We are honored and humbled to receive from our clients in Google. Based on 5-star client reviews, the designation of our law firm is highly recommended. Whether you hire us at all, please give us a call, 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. Injuries happen when you least expect them to, making your life more complicated. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we know.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Plowing these fields in the hot summer sun, over by the gate, Lordy.
I will put an end to the speculation when the coaching search ends, Greeny. Look, do you remember Lincoln Riley standing up at the podium and saying, I will not be the head coach at LSU? And then 24 hours later, he was the head coach at USC. I realize it's a different situation, but if Alabama loses to Oklahoma and has an early exit, if I'm Ward Manuel, the athletic director at Michigan, I am going for Kalen DeBoer because he would be the best option. The most realistic option might be Washington head coach Jed Fish, but we've all been in this long enough. It ain't over till it's over, guys.
It was Heather Dinich on Get Up here on Tuesday, and it's notable because Dinich's comments came not even 24 hours after Kalen DeBoer at his press conference in advance of Alabama's game Friday evening in Norman against Oklahoma was asked a pretty point-blank question about the Michigan reports and if he planned to be the Alabama coach next year.
All right. I put a statement out yesterday because first of all, our guys handle distractions phenomenally. It's been that way all season long. They continue to do that. And so, but I also, knew that yesterday and today was pretty important. I wasn't going to see until today to address it. So that's why I put that out there. A lot of the same things I said before, a couple of weeks ago when asked really the same question. Just, feel completely supported. My family loves living here. Just all the things that we continue to build on. Love the progress. Haven't talked with anyone. No plans of talking with anyone. So I think that's a lot of what I said a couple weeks ago and continues to be the same thing. Feel strong about it. And our guys, if there's been any distraction, I haven't seen it, haven't felt it. And so I'm really proud of the way they've handled whatever noise is out there. And again, we've probably all season long have dealt with enough noise to where it doesn't surprise me on how they handle this.
It's interesting because hearing Kalen DeBoer and reading the statement gave me two very different feelings. Reading the statement felt definitive, like that was a denial. Hearing him say, haven't talked to anyone, no plans to talk to anyone, that does leave it more open-ended. Because your agent can certainly talk to people, and not having plans to talk to anyone doesn't mean that you won't. Wasn't quite as definitive. So hat tip to whoever it was in the Alabama press corps here who came back a few questions after that, because Kalen DeBoer didn't answer that first question was, do you plan to be the Alabama coach next year? And he didn't answer that specifically. So somebody circled back and pinned him against the wall on it.
Just for clarification and going back to Nick's question, will you be the coach at Alabama next season?
I plan on being it. Yes, Nick. Nick, yes. Charlie, yes.
Charlie. I'm not sure who Charlie is, but do you know? Oh, yeah. Sorry, you were sitting
No,
there.
I have no idea.
So, Kalen DeBoer kind of laughing, chuckling through it, saying, yeah, Nick, yes, Charlie, yes, plan on being the coach. Okay. I think two things can be true at the same time. I think a few days before a college football playoff game, he is focusing on his team, and I think he can like Alabama and his family can like living there, and there could be a better opportunity also. And I can also think that if Alabama goes and loses on Friday, there might be a lot of people internally there who are maybe not so bullish on Kalen DeBoer sticking around. Look, Feinbaum was on Get Up as well and effectively echoed those sentiments.
It feels like it's over, and people at Alabama, Greeny, are pushing back, saying they are in the midst of working on a contract. Something tells me they may wait till after Friday night to put it in front of DeBoer. But they were arguing very vehemently yesterday that it is not going to happen. Now, DeBoer actually made a mess out of it. He issued a statement on Sunday that cleared it up, and we only played a part of what he said. I mean, he went on. It was one of the longest word salads in college coaching history. And it's just so simple to say, are you going to be the coach next year? Yes. But for some reason, he couldn't do it. I think some of it is that he likes it there. His family's comfortable there, but he also knows that out in the hinterlands, the fans are not crazy about him, especially with another loss on Friday night.
Feinbaum kind of said the same. It's reading it felt definitive. Hearing him sort of undid that feeling. Let them go lose Friday and see how shaky that may get. All right, it's after further review. We're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. Y'all, we are nearing the end of the year. Today's the 16th. We have 15 days left in the year. 15 days left in 2025. That's wild, isn't it? 15 days left in the year. So, over at South Point Volkswagen, they're already getting the 2026s in. So the 2025s got to go. So, great time to get on by and make a deal at South Point Volkswagen, Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer. Volkswagen deal days are going on right now. You can make a deal on a new 2026, but if you want to score an amazing deal on the remaining 2025s, this is the time to go do it over at South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland. Remember, Sign Then Drive is going on as well. 0 down, 0 due at signing, no first month's payment, no security deposit. Sign your name with little else. You're driving away in a brand new vehicle from South Point Volkswagen. SouthPointVW.com. SouthPointVW.com. South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction? Okay, do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference, the Texas Longhorns.
Maybe Archie knew all along. Texas quarterback Arch Manning will return to Texas in 2026. Arch's dad, Cooper, sent a message to ESPN's Dave Wilson, said, quote, Arch is playing football at Texas next year, end quote. So Manning played really well in the second half of the season. The Longhorns went 9-3, just missing out on the college football playoff. But Arch heading back to the 40 acres.
The Oklahoma Sooners.
R. Mason Thomas and Jake Makula are expected to practice for Oklahoma again ahead of the playoff game against Alabama. So their status for the game still up in the air, but both are at least there's an opportunity potentially for them to get out there. Thomas was first team All-SEC, missed most of the final month with a quad injury, suffered November 1st against Tennessee. As for Makula, who's a former Stanford transfer, he missed the regular season finale with an infection, so he missed the LSU game, but could very well be back here for the playoffs.
Texas A&M!
Running back Le'Veon Moss did participate in practice on Tuesday ahead of the Aggies college football playoff game against Miami. Moss suffered an ankle injury against Florida back at the beginning of October. He missed the final 6 games of the regular season. Wide receiver Ashton Bethel-Roman, linebacker Scooby Williams, and safety Bryce Anderson all also were out there in a limited capacity practicing on Tuesday.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
Bama's landed a commitment from portal tight end Josh Ford from Oklahoma State. Now, it's important to note that when Mike Gundy was fired, they had a one-time 2-week window, or the month whenever Gundy was fired at the end of September. So that's when Ford entered the portal. So he's already able now to sign with a place because he had already entered the portal when that window opened back in September. So 2 seasons with the Cowboys. Ford played in 16 games, had just 13 receptions, but he's headed to Alabama.
The Auburn Tigers.
Former Michigan signee Bear McOrder has committed to Auburn. After Sharon Moore's firing, he was granted his release, so now he'll head to Auburn. So he's a late addition to the 2026 class. 6'3", 293-pounder. He's a 3-star, the number 58 interior offensive lineman in the country. He's out of the state of Georgia now, heading to Auburn.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
And a quick basketball note. Georgia's announced a home-and-home with North Carolina. It'll be 2026 and 2028. Bulldogs will play at North Carolina in the early part of 2026, and then the Tar Heels will play in Athens on a to-be-determined date in November of 2028. There you have it. That is around the SEC. Tuesday shows are powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Bunkie and below, you want a Deere, one place you're going. Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. All right, let's knock out a quick break. Come back, wrap up hour number 1, and we are headed to Norman in about 15 minutes. Yesterday, we previewed Bama, Oklahoma from the Bama side. About 15 minutes, we'll preview it from the OU side. We'll also give you thumbnail previews on Texas A&M, Miami tomorrow, and then Ole Miss Tulane on Thursday as we count down to the college football playoffs. Stay here. It's AFR.
After further review.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. If you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for 3 decades. Get Gordon and get it done. Always encourage you to go to the website. Listen, holidays are here. No doubt there's a lot of people that are focused on family and parties and celebrating and downtime and time away from work, and that's fantastic. But just because it's the holidays doesn't mean that we are void of accidents or things that can happen. So maybe if while you're traveling during the holidays you find yourself in an unfortunate situation, you get into a car wreck or something like that. If you're involved in an accident that's not your fault, you need representation to make sure you maximize getting what you are rightly entitled to get your life back to normal before the accident that disrupted your life. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys, Gordon and his team all over the state of Louisiana will do an awesome job, and they have offices local all over the state of Louisiana, so you don't have to travel. All you got to do is start at the website, getgordon.com, getgordon.com. You know what to do. Get Gordon and get it done.
Investing in a new roof doesn't have to be overwhelming. At Pelican Roofing, we offer 0 interest for 21 months because everyone deserves a safe, secure home. Trusted, local, affordable. Pelican Roofing, making quality roofing affordable for South Louisiana families.
Every winner knows a great play starts with a solid game plan and the right team by your side. At Sunshine, we're here to keep your operation running strong. From tractors to harvesters, we've got the John Deere equipment you need to tackle every job with confidence. Because when the work's done right, there's more time for the things that matter, like cheering on your favorite team. Make Sunshine Quality Solutions part of your playbook this season and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Trust isn't given, it's earned. On the field, I trust my team. For my healthcare, I trust the lake.
Our Lady of the Lake sports medicine experts know what it takes to improve performance and build champions at every level. That's why LSU chose Our Lady of the Lake as its championship health partner, trusting Louisiana's best medical team to care for our state's best athletes. From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
I trust the lake.
With all the delicious chicken finger options, it was an impossible decision.
How about a box combo? Good. Now what can I get for you?
No, I want a Caniac combo with extra cane sauce, no slaw, 2 extra toast, and a half sweet tea, half lemonade.
Celebrate the holidays with Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
South Louisiana, it's turnaround season, and River Parish Contractors is calling in the best of the best. We're hiring pipe fitters, iron workers, boiler makers, combo and structural welders, rig welders, carpenters, crane operators, dirt operators, and more. If you're ready to work, ready to earn, and ready to build something that lasts, call Big Jake at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
She's even kind of crazy about my farmer's tan. She's the only one who really understands what gets me. She thinks my tractor's sexy.
Congratulations to Mansour Delane. Ho-hum, another day, another honor. This time, Mansour Delane named an AFCA, that's the American Football Coaches Association, first-team All-American. So Delane now has been named a first-team All-American by the Associated Press, the Walter Camp Foundation, and the American Football Coaches Association. There are two more organizations that are sort of the accepted All-America teams that make up the All-America honors, so they go towards being consensus or unanimous All-Americans. So Mansour Delane has a chance to do something really special if the Sporting News and the Football Writers Association of America name him a first-team All-American. He would be a unanimous All-American. And in the history of LSU football, there have been single-digit unanimous All-Americans in the history of the program. Gaynell Tinsley in 1936. Billy Cannon did it twice in 58 and 59. Roy Winston in 1961. Jerry Stovall in 1962. It didn't happen again after Jerry Stovall for 25 years when Nacho Albergamo was a unanimous All-American in 1987. And then it was another 20 years before Glenn Dorsey. Then Patrick Peterson and Mo Claiborne did it back-to-back years in 2010 and 2011. Then Grant Delpit in 2018, Burrow and Chase in 2019, then Malik Neighbors in 2023. So for context, Jaden Daniels won the Heisman Trophy and wasn't even a unanimous All-American. As stupid as that sounds. But it is a very rare, very hard thing to do. It's 13. So there have been 13, and Billy Cannon did it twice. So there have been 13 unanimous All-Americans in the history of LSU football. Y'all have been playing football since 1893. 1893. And you've had 13 unanimous All-Americans, and Mansour Delane is closing in on that honor, and I quite honestly don't know how he doesn't, at this point, earn unanimous All-America honors. If, in fact, he earns that designation, we'll point it out, and it's just worth mentioning because his 1 year in Baton Rouge is proving to be very impactful. Even though LSU went 7-5 this season, it's disappointing. We're going to have to learn collectively, right, to appreciate this extreme level of greatness when we get it, even in a relatively short amount of time, right? Like we saw Jaden Daniels for 2 years, Joe Burrow for 2 years. It's going to be a lot of that, where sometimes you just see these incredible players, and it might just be for a season or two instead of their entire 3, 4, 5 year career. But enjoy it. Enjoy the time that you have when it's there, because you likely witnessed a rare piece of LSU football history this year. We'll know here in the coming days if, in fact, Mansour Delane will be a unanimous All-American. All right, it's after further review. Nick Saban made an investment. I'll talk about that in a second. We're brought to you by Parish Restoration. ParishRestoration.com. Kill mold, remove odor. Remember, whenever it's wet outside, Louisiana is the mold capital of the world because it's wet and it's humid. It's a breeding ground for mold. So if you've had water intrusion in your house, it rains and you get water, you see it running down your walls, you see the water spots on the ceiling, it's a great time to call Parish Construction and Roofing. Let us come fix your roof. But when you've had water intrusion, chances are that didn't just happen when you start to see the water spot on the wall or the ceiling. So you probably have had water in your attic, in your walls, your insulation. It could be a breeding ground for mold. Parish Restoration can knock it out. They'll come spray their patented non-toxic dry fog treatment. They'll close up the doors, the windows, everything. They'll let it dwell, kill everything down to the spores. And then when the fog lifts and dissipates, you're in clean, clear, clean smelling, fresh, sanitized building. It's Parish Restoration, parishrestoration.com, parishrestoration.com. How about Nick Saban? He's not getting back into coaching, but he has bought a minority ownership in the NHL's Nashville Predators. Not bad. I mean, he owns a bunch of car dealerships. You know, Nick, I don't know if y'all know, was part of the development group that developed Perkins Row in Baton Rouge. So, I mean, that dude is just rolling in cash. He's a great coach, but also a very savvy businessman and investor. And this kind of helps him stay competitive. So Bill Haslam is the owner of the partner with the Predators. So Nick Saban's jumped in as a minority partner of the Nashville Predators in the NHL. So get him on the bench, get him on skates. Let's see it. AFR.
After further review.
Got hour number 2, staring straight in the face right after SportsCenter. Eddie Radosevich will be here from Sooner Scoop. We'll talk a little bit about Oklahoma and Alabama Friday there in Norman. We are brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, 924-2020, or williamsoneye.com. Hey, look, if you're thinking of maybe the perfect gift to get someone in your life, you can get them LASIK. Give them the gift of sight. I mean, is there anything better, quite literally? And if you're not sure how to do that, like this happens all the time, by the way. I was talking to Amber over there, who's our marketing director, and she's told me this like every year that we talk about Williamson. Make sure people know you can give LASIK or PRK or the custom lens replacement, Evo ICL. You can give this as a gift. Families will go in and give it to a family member, and they can put together like a gift certificate for you so you have something physical that you can give in their stocking or on Christmas morning. Whatever you do, start that process today. WilliamsonEye.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Dr. Johnson, that's my guy. He gonna tell me when I need to do better. He gonna tell me when I need to slow down. And I trust him 100%. The medical care that I received at LSU and with Our Lady of the Lake is top tier. I really trust what they telling me, and they keep me right.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient. And you will have your pool in no time.
Raising Cane's is our victory meal.
Football fans are some of the most dedicated fans in sports. It's a fundamental quality we share, and that fuels every single order of our hand-battered chicken fingers. Wherever there's football, there's Raising Cane's.
One love. Let's go.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. If you're battling an insurance company because of a wreck not your fault and they're not calling you back or being fair, whether you hire us at all, give us a call, 272-5555, or email Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates. You have nothing to lose.
Hello, I'm Collins Meredith. If you've been injured on the job, you'll likely have a workers' compensation claim, but you may also have a tort claim, which opens up significant recovery rights not normally available for a work injury. If this is you, call us or come see us at Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Savor game day platters and snacks, plus drink specials at 1717 Kitchen and Cocktail. So come out for game day and let our team make you the MVP. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Rams, hoping receiver Devontae Adams can play in Thursday's critical matchup against the Seahawks, didn't practice today after aggravating his left hamstring injury on Sunday. LA, currently the 1 seed in the NFC, is tied with Seattle atop the NFC West, with the Rams owning the tiebreaker. The Spurs contemplating bringing center Victor Wembanyama off the bench again in tonight's NBA Cup final versus the Knicks. 8 Eastern ESPN Radio. Wemby played 21 minutes in his return from a calf strain on Saturday. Regardless of how much he plays, he represents a major challenge, notes Knicks coach Mike Brown.
You got to work so hard at not just quote-unquote boxing him out, but hitting him early. You got to do your work early to keep him as far away from the basket as possible. And then everybody else, especially the other near defenders, they got to check their man and then get into his lower back so that he can't get any lift off the ground and go rebound.
Mike Brown on the NBA on ESPN Radio. Indiana's Kirk Cignetti, Associated Press College Football Coach of the Year for the second consecutive year. His Hoosiers are the top seed in the college football playoff.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Wednesday, I'll tell you if Liam Cohen has truly fixed Trevor Lawrence or if his play has been a byproduct of their soft schedule. It's Unsportsmanlike, weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's rock!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Cassie Spazzali.
Look what you made me do. Look what you made me do.
You so. And Mr. Toby Tom Play. All right. We're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Sean Salisbury's here in 1 hour from right now. Right now, though, head up to Norman, Oklahoma. Our buddy Eddie Radosevich, good enough to spend some time with us here. Sooner Scoop, as we kind of preview the SEC teams that are going to be making their way in the college football playoff. Every time I look at the screen and I see that picture, it triggers me every time. Yo, dude, how are you?
I am doing well. How are we, Matt? It's definitely, I guess, more positive than any of the other times that we've talked to one another. Oklahoma in a little bit better spot than they have been here as of late. How are we doing?
Well, Lane Kiffin is LSU's coach. So
I heard about that.
That in and of itself should be a sufficient answer for your question. I don't know what that necessarily is going to mean, but it is really entertaining. I'll put it to you that way.
I can definitely tell. It's been fun to watch from afar because I know that when we went through the coaching search, it's not always the easiest thing. And when you insert somebody like Lane Kiffin, get your popcorn ready. It's going to be fun.
Easy is not how I would describe it, Eddie, but it is. But it has been entertaining, and I'm not complaining, brother, because I'm gonna tell you what, everything is up. Everything. I mean, the interest, the interest graph with has just been incredible. So I am not complaining at all. Business has been good. I would assume the same for you with the Sooners in the college football playoff. Put a bow on this season for OU at 10-2. Give me the flyover here for the Sooners to this point in the regular season, getting into the college football playoff.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you would have to backtrack all the way back to August when we talked before the beginning of the season, all the way back at SEC Media Day, and you kind of wondered what this year 4 was going to look like for Brent Venables. He was very much on the hot seat, very much, I think, in terms of a fan base that was growing a little bit weary, maybe even leery of if he was going to be able to do it. So I think that at the beginning of the season, when you said, hey, if Oklahoma's going to have a good season, it was going to end in the college football playoff. You almost kind of said that tongue-in-cheek because you looked at the schedule just in general, the toughness level that was not just going to be in conference play, but you had that Michigan matchup in week 2, and you just kind of wondered, like, are they going to be able to do this? And even as late as the end of October, I think that there were some people that wondered what the direction of this thing was going to be after the home loss to Ole Miss, and for them to kind of rebound, get through the month of November, that's been referred to as Red November around Norman, to go 4-0, win in Knoxville, build a little bit of confidence, start finding ways to win, kind of back that up, coming out of a bye week with a win against Alabama down at Bryant-Denny Stadium. It kind of changed the narrative, the direction of the program, really, in year number 4 for Brent Venables. And you look up, and now they're 10-2, and they got a home date with Alabama again in the college football playoff. It's been largely a success. I think Oklahoma fans would probably put some parameters on that. They got to win on Friday night to get to the Rose Bowl and take on Indiana. But overall, it's been a step in the right direction. And what they've been able to do in the recruiting ranks in 2027, off to a fantastic start. It very much feels like things have kind of the waters have calmed, if you will, in Norman as we kind of look back at the beginning of what I think a lot of people feel like is the start of Brent Venables' tenure, if you will, here moving forward.
I want to get to the game on Friday in a second, but when would you say you knew that this team was good enough to be a college football playoff caliber team?
I think when they went down that 2-week stretch, and really it was a 3-week stretch because they had a bye week in between, but going to Knoxville and going to Tuscaloosa, I think that, after they lost to Ole Miss, it was basically, hey, you got to win out. You're already kind of somewhat in a playoff type, structure atmosphere for the final month of the season. And once they were able to get through that, you had the 2 home games against Missouri and LSU. It started to become a little bit more realistic. I think Oklahoma fans have always felt like, here through the course of the 2025 season, that they've had a defense that can play at that level. It was just, what are you going to get from this offense? And, it probably hasn't come together as picture perfectly as Ben Arbuckle and John Mateer hoped for, but talking to them on Monday in Norman in some college football playoff interview sessions, it seems like, it's almost kind of a point of, if you would have said at the beginning of the season they were going to get to the college football playoff, a lot of people probably would have thought that John Mateer was going to have the type of season that he would ultimately be in New York City. That certainly didn't happen, but I think because of the defense, you've been able to fall back on this idea that they've been able to kind of rebound themselves from what the offense hasn't been able to do, and it's because of a great defense and a special teams unit that might be one of the better units just from top to bottom, led by the Luke Rosa winner, Tate Sandell, that Oklahoma's had maybe a decade. So they've taken some massive, drastic steps, in certainly 2 of the 3 phases. And as, I guess, quote-unquote, as bad as Oklahoma's been offensively, it's been so much better than what Oklahoma fans were subjected to a year ago.
Why, Eddie Radosevich is with a Sooner Scoop, why has Oklahoma been able to beat Alabama the last 2 years?
It's kind of crazy, isn't it? I mean, I think the 24 season a year ago in Norman, that was out of nowhere. You can say what you want about Alabama, where they were at the end of the last season. It certainly didn't reflect, I think, what a lot of people thought of the Crimson Tide when Kalen DeBoer took over for Nick Saban, and they were just able to run the ball down their throat. This last time, the trip to Bryant-Denny about a month ago, it was really good defense, and they were able to cash in on 3 turnovers, turn that into 17 points, and were just able to make better, I think, cleaner plays at the end of the day. They were able to capitalize on some special teams gaffes by Alabama. They blocked a field goal. They were able to force a fumble on a punt return to turn that into 7 points. So they kind of, I think, just were able to I don't want to say out-scheme them, but they were able to outsmart them a little bit in terms of, getting off the field when they needed to, and then taking advantage of some miscues from Alabama, which, I think a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, I don't know if Oklahoma has been able to do that. They were not able to find ways to win football games, and I think that was becoming kind of the biggest angst amongst Oklahoma fans, is the fact that they were in position to win so many of these games in the first 3 years of Brent's tenure, and they just weren't able to do it. So they've been able to get over that hump, and I think it's come with a lot of confidence in building off of those 2 road wins.
Eddie Radosevich is with a Sooner Scoop. Okay, in the NFL, whenever teams are in the same division, they play often, you rarely see the same game twice, right? Familiarity forces innovation and sort of changing. How might Friday be different than what we saw a month ago and then a year ago in Norman?
Yeah, that's kind of the big question mark. I think that, we've known the matchup for almost a week and a half now, and it's almost to the point where you've covered every angle and how this could be different. I think that Oklahoma is going to be really interesting to see what Brent Venables draws up defensively. They were able to put a lot of pressure on Ty Simpson the first time around. They should get R. Mason Thomas back. He's been practicing this week, had the quad injury at Tennessee that kept him out of the first, tilt down in Tuscaloosa. So I'm fascinated to see what Brent throws at Alabama defensively this time around. He's had some moderate success. He's looking to go 5-0 in rematches. He had 3 when he was here at Oklahoma his first time around as defense coordinator, then obviously matched up with Notre Dame twice in 2020 in the regular season at Clemson, and then obviously in the college football playoff. It's been drastic how much better the Oklahoma or the defense, Brent Venables' defense, has been able to fare against those teams in those matchups. And I think that that's kind of the sticking point for Oklahoma fans this time around is you walk out of Tuscaloosa, and it was one of the things that Oklahoma defensive players talked about here over the last week and a half is they did not play well in Tuscaloosa. They got the turnovers when they needed to. But for the most part, Ty Simpson and Josh Cuevas, the tight end, was able to really kind of make some headway against them, giving up almost 400 yards total offense. But at the same time, they were able to get off the field. So I think that's kind of the sticking point for Oklahoma's coaching staff right now is they got out of Tuscaloosa with a win, but probably didn't have their A game. And I think it's going to be rather interesting to see, kind of what they're able to do. The kind of the crazy thing is as Oklahoma goes for the third win in 13 months against Oklahoma, it'd be 6 of the last 7. In 5 of those games, they've scored a defensive touchdown, which I don't know if that's just a coincidence or if maybe there's something to it that Oklahoma's been able to kind of pull off against Alabama.
If Oklahoma does win, and I would assume this will be a great environment. I mean, what are you anticipating Friday night? I saw they're canceling classes, right? So it's going to be a huge thing there in Norman.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Oklahoma, their class schedule, they started a week late, so usually everybody's out by now. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but yeah, there were some finals. Scumbag professors having a 5 o'clock Friday final. That sounds like the worst disaster that you could ever sign up for. But
I'd drop that class.
Yeah, it's being billed as one of the biggest home games in the history of the program, and they've certainly had some big ones over at the stadium. As I'm looking over at it right now, it's going to be a lot of fun. I think that everybody kind of has an idea of what to expect, but to truly kind of know what a playoff atmosphere, as storied as this program is, it's unprecedented territory. They've never hosted a playoff game here. So it's kind of exciting. I think for somebody that is, like myself, I've grown up coming to Oklahoma games, basically my entire life for the better part of the last 30-something years. There's some unknown, but I think a lot of excitement that centers around Friday night at 7 o'clock, and then you add in that it's the only game in the country. It's kind of a special marking point for Brent Venables and this coaching staff to be able to entertain.
Well, I will be yelling Boomer Sooner all the way from Baton Rouge because
we love it.
Well, I don't think there's anybody in the country that has more invested in Alabama losing every opportunity possible than me. So. Sure. I don't know what that means. I got to dress up with like a horse head or something like that, but I'll do something ridiculous if the Sooners manage to pull this one off, and I'm really pulling for it. Friday night, they're in Norman. That's the Sooners and the Crimson Tide for the 3rd time in 2 calendar years. Eddie Radosevich will be there. Soonerscoop.com at Eddie_Rado. Go give him a follow. We appreciate it as always, man. Thank you.
You bet. Anytime. Looking forward to it. And, I think that you, like, I would say a majority of the college football fan base will be pulling for Oklahoma, I think. I don't know who Notre Dame's pulling for, but it should be a lot of fun, and I appreciate it.
Forget those losers. Who cares who they're pulling for? They're out there. They're in Hawaii or something like that. They're in the Bahamas. They don't even care about what they think. Thanks, dude. I got to run. I'll see you.
You bet. See ya.
All right, that's Eddie Radosevich. We're brought to you by Shop Bills Tire and Auto Service. ShopBillsTire.com. I was over at the parish office today. Terrio was leaving, heading to Shaw Bills. Because Houston Terrio got a nail in his tire. And Houston Terrio is skiing. on like semester break. And so he went skiing. And so Ryan was there to take his kid's truck to Shawbills to get the tire fixed. Hey, but look, tell you all the time, they'll repair your tire for free. It's you buy tires at Shawbills for the life of the tires, they'll repair for free. No questions asked. It's just one of the things that Mr. Charlie said 60 years ago. It's the right thing to do, the right way to treat people. So you can always take it to Shawbills. Name brand tires at wholesale prices. And, of course, whatever type of service you may need for your vehicle. If you're heading out of town for Christmas, make sure before you do, you bring it to Shawbills for the oil change, the tire rotation, check engine lights on. As a matter of fact, Erica was telling me her brakes are squeaking. Probably got to bring her vehicle into Shawbills. ShawBillsTire.com to schedule service, shop tires. It's all there. ShawBillsTire.com. Shawbills, where we keep you rolling. I appreciate Eddie for being here. If you missed it yesterday, our buddy Mark Heim was here to preview that game from the Alabama side. The next 2 days, we'll take a look at Texas A&M Miami and Ole Miss against Tulane. So we'll preview those SEC teams in the college football playoff in the next couple of days as we lead you to Friday's start of the college football playoff. Let me knock out a quick break. Bottom of this hour, Whit Weeks was on Gordon McKernan's podcast and talked about his draft decision. We'll get to that in about 15 minutes. When we come back, though, Saints PFF grades are out for the win over the Panthers. One very encouraging trend. We'll talk about it next on AFR.
AFR.
You've heard me talk about Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness, and yes, they can help men with ED, and yes, they specialize in hormone replacement therapy, lowest prices, never any contracts, but they also have peptides. And peptides are something that if you're not familiar with what peptides are, you need to educate yourself because peptides can help you live a better, fuller, healthier life. These are non-pharmaceutical options that can help with almost anything that you're dealing with. Of course, many people know about GLP-1s. Those are the weight loss shots, right? Well, those are peptides. Well, so is BPC 157, Body Protection Compound 157. You've heard me talk about. It's derived from gastric juice, so it actually helps people with gut health issues. It can also help with tissue repair, muscle issues, or injuries and things like that. But they also have peptides for things like anxiety and brain fog and energy and for muscle growth and building. You got to learn more. YourGoodwood.com.
South Louisiana, it's turnaround season, and River Parish Contractors is calling in the best of the best. We're hiring pipe fitters, iron workers, boiler makers, combo and structural welders, rig welders, carpenters, crane operators, dirt operators, and more. If you're ready to work, ready to earn, and ready to build something that lasts, call Big Jake at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Blessed Builders School.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
This menu is a masterpiece, delivers every time.
This is the worst party ever. Raisin Cane's!
Let's go!
The party is saved!
Peter, Mr. Billingsley.
Celebrate the holidays with Raisin Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
Every winner knows a great play starts with a solid game plan and the right team by your side. At Sunshine, we're here to keep your operation running strong. From tractors to harvesters, we've got the John Deere equipment you need to tackle every job with confidence. Because when the work's done right, there's more time for the things that matter, like cheering on your favorite team. Make Sunshine Quality Solutions part of your playbook this season and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunnyquip.com.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Wall-to-wall TVs mean you'll see every touchdown in HD. Place your bets and feel the thrill of every play with our DraftKings Sportsbook. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
She says she's got a dream, and I ask what it is. She wants a little farm and a yard full of kids, and one more teeny-weeny ride before I take her home. She thinks my tractor's sexy. It really turns.
Hey, remember, it's not too late to get by any of the Sunshine locations. You can pick up John Deere tractor toys for the kiddos for Christmas, or for you if you're into tractor toys, which are actually pretty awesome. I mean, we have like a to-scale model of a tractor here. Cassie, can you go what? The to-scale model of a tractor right there on the set. You might need that one. Well, that doesn't matter. Also, they got like a really fun little tractor toy that makes noise, everything. Drew has one. He loves it. And they have like the Power Wheels tractors as well, the John Deere tractors that the kids can drive around if you love that sort of thing. So Christmas sale, 10% off all John Deere toys. That includes the ride-on toys and the bikes. So John Deere bikes, the John Deere ride-on toys, and then like the little model tractors as well. At any of the Sunshine locations, 10% off right now on their Christmas sale. So get on by any of the Sunshine locations, sunnyquip.com, sunnyquip.com. Saints beat the Panthers on Sunday for their second consecutive win, fourth of the season. And we always like to take a peek at what the folks over at Pro Football Focus say after these games. And the qualifier I always give with PFF is that it is a metric. It's not the metric. It's just something to consider. A lot of times we don't need metrics like this because we can look at how the game plays out, and you can see productivity from tackles from defensive players, or receiving yards from receivers, or passing yards. Yeah, there's some things that are just, we have metrics that make sense. But there's a lot of times, though, where what's happening away from the ball, PFF is good to kind of illustrate what some of these things are. So I always like to look at, the tops and the bottoms, offense and defense. And, when you look offensively, the thing that stands out the most, when you look at your top players on the offensive side, Devon Vele had an 89, Tyler Shuck an 80.6, Kelvin Banks a 76.5, then Chris Olave was fourth, followed by Cesar Ruiz, God bless. It was a 68.8, which is not a great grade, but he was the fifth highest rated player on offense. But think about that. Vele, Shuck, Banks, your top three players, all young players. Now, Vele is in his second year, but his first year with the Saints. Shuck's a rookie, Banks is a rookie. So your top three players offensively were young guys. If you go to the bottom, Mason Tipton was your lowest graded offensive player, Foster Moreau, and then this is where the problem comes in, right? Luke Fortner, Taliese Fuaga, Dylan Radins, Raduns. And a gigantic issue that you had offensively was the penalties. You had 10 penalties, and 9 of them were on your offensive line. Banks committed 3, Fuaga committed 3, Fortner committed 2, Radins, Raduns committed 1. So all of your guys, like I look at Kelvin Banks with an overall grade of 76.5 on a day where he committed 3 penalties. Think about what his grade would have been had he not had the penalties. But it just continues to illustrate the issues that you have on the offensive line. And maybe the most disappointing part of this is because of all of the investment you've made in the offensive line in the draft, or the line of scrimmage. I can even say the same about defensively. Like Brian Brzee was one of your 5 lowest graded defensive players. And you keep making this investment into the line of scrimmage in the draft, and it's just not paying off for you. So the fact that offensively your young skill guys graded so highly and your offensive line was so bad, I think that speaks to the job that Tyler Shuck did. So some of this is validating the eye test, right? It speaks to the job that Tyler Shuck did leading this offense, even though your line stinks. He got sacked 5 times. Your line committed 9 penalties. Your line was bad. You couldn't run the football, 25 carries for for 80 yards. Like, your line is very bad. It stinks that you made the investment in draft capital in those guys and they're not any good. But the fact that you're able to win the game and your quarterback elevated is encouraging. Now, the other part, defensively, you flip it and you're going to see another trend here. Your top-graded player defensively was Cameron Jordan, who, what a bounce-back season for Cam. I mean, after seeing his snap count, look, he only played 25 defensive snaps in the game, 25 of the 57. So they are playing Cam Jordan on roughly half the defensive snaps, but he's maximizing his effort in those 25, 30 snaps a game, and it's allowing him to be productive, which is great to see. But after Cam, Jonas Sanker was next, Demario Davis, who's incredible. Sugarwater McKinstry was fourth, credit where it's due, and then Quincy Riley, and then Jordan Howden. So your young defenders in the secondary, Sanker, McKinstry, Riley, Howden, were all right there at the top of the grades defensively against Carolina, which was really encouraging. But again, notice the omission is you didn't see any of your young players across the defensive front. Your bottom five, Danny Stutzman, Nathan Shepard, Alontae Taylor, Devon Gottschall, Carl Granderson, then Brian Brzee right there as well. So the big takeaway is pretty obvious. You've invested tons of draft capital in the line of scrimmage. You're not very good at the line of scrimmage on either side, at least not with your young guys. Your secondary and your skill guys among your young players are playing really well. So my big takeaway, the thing that I've looked for this year, as we've said from the very beginning of the season, is where are the cornerstone pieces you feel like you can build around? Well, in this final month of the season, hopefully those continue to reveal themselves. Tyler Shuck seems like a pretty safe bet going into next year. He's going to be your starting quarterback. Like, you're not using a first-round pick on a quarterback. It's a pretty safe bet as of this point. Certainly, you'd love to add a playmaking receiver, but maybe what this is illustrating is don't go in the draft looking for an offensive lineman. How about you go into free agency and spend on a young veteran offensive lineman? Someone who's a proven starting caliber offensive lineman who's heading into free agency, who can look at a young quarterback, a team with some potential upside that you actually have the money to spend and you can go be competitive and bring someone in there. You get Eric McCoy back next year. You feel like you've got your bookend tackles. How about you go spend money on one of the better guards in free agency this year and maybe put that person there next to between Kelvin Banks and Eric McCoy, and see if you can't solidify the left side of your line, and then hope Cesar Salad just doesn't be the worst offensive guard in the NFL. Maybe you can solidify yourself that way. That's going to be fascinating. Then defensively, maybe what we're seeing here is while you may not have a true elite corner, Quincy Riley is playing well, and Kool-Aid. I mean, I think these are starting caliber players in the NFL. They're just not elite starting caliber players in the NFL. Like, I don't think you trust either one of those guys right now to go lock down a true number one receiver that you're going to run up on in a given Sunday. But can they handle somebody's number 2 or 3, or you play the nickel? Yeah. So maybe that you're basically identifying what are going to be your needs in this offseason. So maybe with your first overall pick, your first-round pick, you're looking at a cornerback. I mean, we're all certainly partial to Mansour Delane, but he may be the best cornerback in this draft. And if the Saints are picking somewhere around 9 or 10 and that makes sense, great. Go get you a lockdown, true number one cornerback, so then you could have some combination of whoever your first-round pick is with Kool-Aid and Quincy Riley, and you feel like maybe you've got your secondary built there a little bit. So a lot of that's what's revealing itself right now. We'll see what the Saints can do here in these final, trio of games. Winnable games with the Jets, the Titans, and the Falcons, and an opportunity for more players to continue getting more reps and developing to see what you're going to be looking at, not only in free agency, but in the NFL draft. So quick look at PFF and how they saw the Saints win over the Panthers. All right, it's after further review. We are brought to you by First South Farm Credit. On a day like this where we're sponsored by Sunshine, of course, so many farmers, people in agriculture who use Sunshine know also about First South Farm Credit, because, listen, First South Farm Credit's been first in agriculture for more than a century now. If you're a farmer and you need that acreage, whether it's you're a cattle farmer or if it's sugarcane or whatever it may be, First South Farm Credit can help you buy that land. And they can also help you finance your farm equipment. FirstSouthLand.com, FirstSouthLand.com. Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit, but it's so much more than just agriculture. So much of their business are people who want that recreational property, the hunting property, or you want to explore that rural lifestyle. You want to maybe buy that acreage where you can build your family's dream home on 100 acres. Well, First South Farm Credit makes it happen for people in Louisiana every single day, but with more than 40 branches in Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, they can help you buy land anywhere in the lower 48. So it doesn't matter if you want to buy land, you want to buy a winery in Northern California, you want to buy a dude ranch in Montana, or you want 100 acres in Mississippi for your hunting property, First South Farm Credit can help you do that. FirstSouthLand.com, FirstSouthLand.com. All right, y'all. It is After Further Review, and we're glad to have you hanging out with us here. We got Sean Salisbury in 30 minutes. I do want to follow up with Sean, as we do every week here. We talk a lot of quarterbacks. There's two things in particular that I want to talk about with Sean. Of course, Tyler Shuck's continued advancement, development, progress. But I also want to talk to Sean about DJ Lagway. Because LSU is going to be in the transfer portal for a quarterback. Lagway is entering the transfer portal. And some of the conversations I've had in the last 24 hours that Lane Kiffin thinks very highly of DJ Lagway. So I know you and I have seen Lagway for 2 years really struggle at Florida. But there's this sort of question of, okay, if Lane Kiffin gets his hand on Lagway and has that ball of clay to mold, what could that look like? So we'll ask Sean Salisbury his thoughts. And he's known Lagway since he was in high school in Texas. So want to get into that conversation here in about half an hour when Sean's with us. All right, it's After Further Review. Speaking of the Tigers and who's going to be here next year, maybe no bigger decision, certainly not defensively, than Whit Weeks. Will he come back? Whit Weeks was a guest on Gordon McKernan's podcast. We'll let you hear what the junior linebacker had to say. That's next on AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by the Watermark and the Renaissance. Watermark downtown, Renaissance Southtown, two amazing hotel properties in Baton Rouge. The Watermark is Baton Rouge's premier hotel property in downtown Baton Rouge on 3rd Street, the old Louisiana National Bank building. Have you been to Watermark Baton Rouge yet? Have you been to Watermark Baton Rouge yet? If you've not yet been, you've got to carve out some time. Look, the holidays are here. Maybe you got a day off of work. It's worth just spending some time in downtown Baton Rouge. If you haven't hung out in downtown Baton Rouge, listen, if you're eating at the Gregory, it's always complimentary valet parking, too. So you can pull right up. So if you're worried about parking downtown, don't. Just pull right up in front of the Watermark. Valet will take your car. Go have lunch or have dinner at the Gregory. Just sit in the lobby bar and have a cocktail, a glass of wine. Just people watch a little bit. Explore that historical building in downtown Baton Rouge. Walking distance from restaurants and shops and bars and some of the historical sites in downtown. It's Watermark Baton Rouge. Check it out today. It's Watermark Baton Rouge.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
With all the delicious chicken finger options, it was an impossible decision.
How about a box combo? Good. Now what can I get for you?
No, I want a Caniac combo with extra cane sauce, no slaw, 2 extra toast, and a half sweet tea, half lemonade.
Celebrate the holidays with Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Lockmair to Sean Fagan and Associates has won for our clients over $175 million over the decades. But our greatest success is our clients who have chosen and trusted us to help them. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call. You've got nothing to lose. Hi, I'm Sean Fagan. If you get injured, you could be staring at medical bills, repair costs, and lost income. Life can be turned upside down. At Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we'll work to turn your world right side up. Hire us, and like thousands of our clients, you'll be glad you did.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Hey, remember, you can always email us, tweet us, or text us, 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Lots of ways you can get involved in the show, so feel free to do that. If you've got a question or comment you want to jump aboard, feel free to do that. A gigantic part of what Lane Kiffin and Billy Glasscock have to figure out right now before the transfer portal window opens on January the 2nd. It's sort of this tiered approach to building the roster. First of all, they had to get past the December signing period, right? So how many of those commitments were going to sign? How many were they going to honor those offers? How many guys at other schools did they want to bring in? For example, Ryan Meeret, the offensive lineman from Miami who had been committed to Ole Miss, flipped to LSU and signed. So players like that. So you sign your class of 14. And then you can look at your 85-man roster and know which players are not going to be back because they're out of eligibility. And then you're doing roster evaluations right now of guys that are going into the transfer portal and who you're hoping come back and who you can recruit to retain on the roster. It's interesting. We had Juwan Johnson on the show yesterday, and he's announced his intention to go in the portal. But as of Monday, said he still hasn't spoken to Lane Kiffin or anyone on the new staff yet. So I can certainly appreciate very much Kiffin and the new staff allowing the current staff to get through this season, right? I mean, they still have a bowl game to play, and they're preparing for it right now. So I very much understand and can appreciate them having a fine line to walk here. It's a delicate balance where you need to get cracking on your roster for next year because the calendar is so screwed up, but you have a current roster and coaching staff that's preparing for a bowl game, so you don't want to overstep there. So it's going to get to a point very likely quickly after LSU plays the bowl game that they'll have a lot of these meetings before the portal opens on Jan 2, so they kind of have a sense of what guys are going to do, who's going pro, who would like to return, who has the opportunity to return, who's going in the portal, and we'll know more and more as that comes along. But, I would say that if you asked me who are the most important guys with a decision to make on either side of the ball, like I'm not talking about Mansour Delane, like he's got extra year of eligibility, he's going pro, right? That's a foregone conclusion. I would say offensively, it's probably Braylon Moore, who's your best offensive lineman this year. And he has another year of eligibility if he wants it. And it would be amazing at that position group, which was so bad this year, if you could start by knowing your center, your cornerstone, is back. So that would be my biggest push offensively, would be get Braylon Moore back. Defensively, this may sound obvious, but it's Whit Weeks. Whit Weeks a year ago was second in the nation in tackles. He was awesome. And he was a preseason first-team All-American this year. And he got hurt. He re-injured that ankle against Ole Miss, had a week off, played on it against South Carolina, knew something wasn't right, and then basically saw limited action in 2 games the rest of the way. You know, a little more than a dozen snaps against Western Kentucky, about 30 snaps against Oklahoma, and that was it. He's not going to play in the bowl game. So this may feel like a pretty obvious answer for Whit Weeks. Come get healthy, come back, play another year, get a bunch of NIL money, prove you're healthy, improve your draft stock. But decisions are never really that cut and dried. So Whit Weeks was a guest on the Get Gordon podcast. Of course, we got a great partnership here with Gordon McKernan. And Gordon's got a podcast studio they call The Garage in Baton Rouge. Pretty awesome. He lets anybody use it who wants. Seriously, totally free of charge. And all 3 Weeks brothers were simultaneously guests on the podcast. And Whit was asked about his decision about his future. Here's what he said.
That's the $1 million question right now. Yeah. I wish I knew. I really do wish I knew. That's what I'm trying to figure that out right now.
You know, you got Kiffin coming over here.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's probably got to ask you to come back.
Yeah,
and
definitely. I mean, we've had those conversations already, so now it's just, you know, but I'm taking all the outside factors out of it and really making the decision for myself because I have to, because some people telling me to leave, some people telling me to stay, but at the end of the day, it's really just, it's what's the best decision for Whit.
You know, I think these decisions have gotten so much more clouded. So he's non-committal there. Obviously, didn't answer the question. Doesn't know yet. But you know, for a long time, guys were just they knew they were coming to school for 3 years and then they were gone. And part of that was because when you look at the NFL Players Association and how rookie deals are capped now since the 2011 collective bargaining agreement. Rookie deals are capped, so guys want to get to the NFL and start their clock because you're not going to make your money until your second contract. Like, if you go look at the guaranteed money between, say, a third-round pick and a seventh-round pick, it's kind of indiscriminate. It's not significant enough to really matter. Now, if you have the opportunity to be a first-round pick, now you could be talking about a signing bonus in the 8 figures, and that can be certainly worth it. But for so many guys, it was just about get to the league and start your clock to the second contract. Well, now you can actually maximize financial value on the front end because of NIL and rev share and all that stuff. So Whit Weeks has to sort of balance where can he make more money next year? Well, the answer, if he's going to be an early day 3 pick or late day 2, early day 3 pick, he would stand to make more money coming back to LSU for his senior season and then getting healthy and then increasing his draft stock and all that sort of stuff, potentially being a first-round pick. Also runs the risk of injury. That's always certainly a possibility. Now, the other part of this that I think is very significant is Blake Baker, because not only is that the defensive coordinator, so you maintain consistency for Whit Weeks, but it's also his position coach, being that he's a linebacker. And this is what Whit said about retaining Baker.
I'm excited, and I think the biggest thing that they were able to do is bring Coach Baker back.
Yeah.
I mean, that's huge for us playing defense. That is the biggest thing that I think they've done all offseason.
Well, not only that, you would have had Peoples and others coaches that probably would have followed him.
Well, yeah, so the whole defensive staff would have been gone, and then you're starting the whole team from scratch. That's why I think the best thing that we did was bring him back, because now you have that foundation.
Yeah.
Whereas if you do get rid of him, you're bringing in a whole new staff, and you're starting from zero on offense and defense.
Yeah. And we need to enjoy him all we can. Because
it certainly sounds like that made Whit's. It was certainly a giant pillar in the column, or a check mark in the column of Whit returning, right? If he were gone, if Baker were gone and you were starting over with a whole new defensive staff, it certainly would have complicated this decision even further. And speaking of complex, of course, Whit is dating his coach's daughter, and he did talk about that.
I mean, whenever we started dating, but none of us would have ever thought that he would be the head coach at LSU. Never in a million years would we have thought that. So it is kind of weird, seeing him in the building in the head coach's office, because I'm like, this dude's just my girlfriend's dad. And now he's the head coach for LSU. Yeah. It's like, wow. So it's kind of weird, like seeing him as a coach, because like I always just saw him as my girlfriend's dad.
Yeah. If you look at what the defense will look like next year, I mean, you're losing as far as snap counts, 6 of your top 7 guys. So getting Witt back, along with Devon Keys and Tylen Singleton, some of those young guys at linebacker, would be a major spot in the middle of that defense. And you could start to build around Pickett and Woodland at corner, and you can move back to safety where a guy like Spears and Cooley could be back there at safety. You got to rebuild your defensive front, but you do have some young talent like Don McKinley. But, man, to have a potential All-American smack dab in the middle of your defense, you know, it's like the whole thing in baseball. It's true in football as well. You want to be good up the middle. Catcher, middle infield, center field. Same thing. Center, middle linebacker, nose tackle, free safety. Like, you want to be good right at the middle. And if you establish center with Braylon Moore and middle linebacker with Whit Weeks coming back, that would be major wins, as significant wins as Kiffin could possibly have as far as retention of the current roster. All right, it's after further review. Of course, when Whit was hurt, he was cared for by physicians over at Our Lady of the Lake, championship health partner of LSU athletics. All the LSU Tigers, not only the football Tigers, but every sport. They trust their health care to the lake. OLOLRMC.com/LSU is the website where you can learn more about the Championship Health Partnership. You can go to the website, OLOLRMC.com/LSU. You can scroll down and you can learn more about that great Championship Health Partnership that they have together. A lot of the different features that they have. When you scroll down on the website, you can see a lot of the things that they offer there at Our Lady of the Lake and many different ways that the Lake and LSU partner together. So you can log on to the website. You can find contact information there as well. But my goodness, if it's the Regional Medical Center right there on Essen, if it's the standalone Children's Hospital, if it's many of the Lake urgent care after-hours clinics as well, Our Lady of the Lake cares for not only the champions on the floor, on the court, on the diamond at LSU, but everyday champions like you and me in the community. It's Our Lady of the Lake and LSU. Together, we roar. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out a break and wrap up hour number 2 when we come back. You used to do Tigers and the Pros. Sean Salisbury will be with us in about 15 minutes from right now. We always appreciate Sean. And Kuiper does have his latest big board out. So we'll tell you kind of what a projection looks like for a lot of these LSU guys that have draft decisions to make. We'll get to that here in about 45 minutes from right now. Stick around. Wrap up hour number 2 next.
AFR.
All right, y'all. We're counting the days now, okay? We are talking about 9 days away. 9 days. 9 days until the big guy, 8 days till the big guy comes down the chimney. And if you want to make sure that you have something under the tree for that gardener, that green thumb on your list, get on by Clegg's Nursery. That hard to buy for person on your list, Clegg's has great gift ideas. Outside the box gift ideas. Like, what about a citrus tree? Plant a citrus tree. That's something that can give enjoyment and beauty to your family, your home, literally for generations. Poinsettias are a great gift, great way to add some color inside your home, your office around the holidays as well. Maybe it's the Clegg's gift card. Maybe it's tuned wind chimes, which are a gorgeous accent piece for anybody's outdoor space. They got it all for you at Clegg's Nursery. So buy local, shop local, and tell them Matt sent you to Clegg's Nursery.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Supreme Jasmine is premium American-grown rice. From local farms to your table, every grain is supreme. Pick up a bag of Jasmine or any other of our Supreme American rice.
Dr. Johnson, that's my guy. He gonna tell me when I need to do better. He gonna tell me when I need to slow down. And I trust him 100%. The medical care that I receive at LSU and with Our Lady of the Lake is top tier. I really trust what they telling me, and they keep me right.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. We are honored and humbled to receive from our clients in Google, based on 5-star client reviews, the designation of our law firm is highly recommended. Whether you hire us at all, please give us a call, 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. Injuries happen when you least expect them to, making your life more complicated. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates, we know this, and we strive to help each of our clients during these times. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
With all the delicious chicken finger options, it was an impossible decision.
How about a box combo? Good. Now what can I get for you?
No, I want a Caniac combo with extra cane sauce, no slaw, 2 extra toast, and a half sweet tea, half lemonade.
Celebrate the holidays with Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Well, she ain't in the cars or pickup trucks, but if it runs like a deer, man, her eyes light up. She thinks my tractor.
Wrapping up hour number 2. Sean Salisbury again about 10 minutes from right now. Right now, Musso has Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
All right, so yesterday during Tigers in the Pros, we told you about Devin White's 16 tackles on Sunday. Well, Raiders PR, the official PR account for the Raiders, they've added a whole nother layer of intrigue to this, as has Ian Rappaport. Devin White, with those 16 tackles, now has 149 tackles on the year in 2025, making him one of just 5 players in Raiders history to record 140-plus tackles in a single season. Ian Rappaport notes as well that Devin White needs one more sack on the year. With one more sack, White would join Demario Davis as one of only 2 players since 2019 with 700-plus tackles and 25 sacks. Should be noted as well, the 149 tackles, it's a career high for Devin White, besting his 140 with Tampa Bay back in 2020. Just an awesome, awesome comeback for Devin White here in 2025 after struggling to end his time with Tampa Bay and obviously being picked up midseason by the Texans last year. On to Major League Baseball. Of course, everyone's looking at Alex Bregman. Where might he go? That's still up in the air. There's about 5 or 6 teams, depending on where you look, that are interested in Bregman. But Kylie McDaniel from ESPN, using all his numbers and know-how, projected the contract that Bregman might be up for. 5 years, $170 million. Could go to 6 years if you want to lower the value a little bit. His comp's Marcus Semien, who going into his 31 season, like Bregman is, signed 7 years, $175. They think that the $25 million that Semien got will definitely be bested by Bregman. That would also be an uptick from his deal he signed with the Red Sox, which was 3 years, $120 million with the club options. That's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Arco Power Systems, arco.com, arco.com, ARCCO, arco.com. Generac Industrial Generator Power. Own a business, commercial property, municipality, industrial facility. You need automatic power, standby power. Storm comes, power goes out. What do? We know what you do at your home. You got a Generac at your home. You need one for your business as well. That's what Arco does. This is not a generator for your house. This is an automatic standby generator for your business. Commercial, industrial size, industrial energy for your business. Grocery stores, universities, schools, convenience stores, banks, hospitals, everything. You need critical backup energy solutions. you need Arco Power Systems. And the great news is they are everywhere, y'all. Home base is right there on Airline Highway in Baton Rouge. It's incredible how big this business is. But they have offices north to Little Rock, east to Mobile, west to San Antonio, Houston, Dallas, Austin, everywhere in between, all over Louisiana. So if you're a business, just draw a big old circle in the spots that I just said. You're a business, own a commercial building, you need a generator for your business, Arco Power Systems. ARCCO, arco.com, arco.com, arco.com. All right, y'all, it is After Further Review. Remember, you can always watch us on YouTube. We appreciate you for being there. If you are watching live on YouTube, smash that like button. You can watch on WBTR in Baton Rouge. You can listen on ESPN, Lafayette, Lake Charles, Alexandria, online on the web. We just appreciate you for being there. However, whenever, wherever you consume, we just appreciate you for being out there with us every single day. It is After Further Review, so we're going to knock out a quick break. We get caught up on national headlines from SportsCenter. When we come back, Sean Salisbury is going to be with us. I love visiting with Sean every week, but there's two things in particular I really want to make sure that we hammer with Sean today. Obviously, we're going to talk about the continued growth from Tyler Shuck, but the other is LSU's portal targets at quarterback, namely DJ Lagway. We'll get to that next.
AFR.
Man, had a great meeting over today at Parish Construction and Roofing. Terrio and Tilly and Joe and our whole squad over there at Parish Construction and Roofing. You know, we handle every type of roof. Commercial, residential, slate, tile, TPO, everything. And it doesn't matter if it's a repair, replacement, no matter how big or small. We also do gutters. We fabricate our own metal. And we do soft wash. One of the really cool things I want to make sure I remind y'all about is our soft wash crew. So earlier today, we do this not only for homes, but also for commercial places. So today at the Louisiana Fallen Firefighters Memorial, our parish crews were out there soft washing that memorial. Beautiful spot, a tribute to the brave men and women who have died protecting us. And we had the opportunity today, our parish crew, to soft wash that, to beautify it. We'd love to help you out. Go to parishbuilt.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit LouisianaPropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free, confidential help now.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even JB could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of JB Falgu.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders. We're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
This menu is a masterpiece, delivers every time.
This is the worst party ever. Raising Cane's!
Let's go!
The party is saved!
Peter, Mr. Billingsley.
Celebrate the holidays with Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi with Thursday's crucial NFC West showdown against the Seahawks looming. The Rams are still hoping receiver Devontae Adams will be able to play at Seattle. Adams, who aggravated his left hamstring injury in the win over Detroit, did not practice today. The teams are tied for the division lead with the Rams owning the tiebreaker. Spurs and Knicks face off in the NBA Cup final tonight, 8 Eastern, ESPN Radio. One of the key matchups that could determine the outcome, San Antonio's Victor Wembanyama versus New York's Karl Anthony Towns.
He really is 7'5". So, usually for us, we step into the room at me at 7 foot, and you're the biggest, tallest human in the room. And now you got a guy like him who's coming in who makes you have to look up. So, yeah, he's a special talent. To be able to be at his size to do what he does on the court is obviously it's generational, and he's a hell of a talent, a hell of a player.
Karl Anthony Towns on the NBA on ESPN Radio. Spurs could bring Wemby off the bench in his second game back after missing a month with a calf strain. Indiana's Kurt Cignetti, AP College Football Coach of the Year for a second straight year.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. We make the claims process easy so you can get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane's studio.
That's right!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Cassie Spazzali.
Look what you made me do.
Yusuf. And Mr. Toby Tom Plate. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. Every single Tuesday, we get a chance to visit with our buddy Sean Salisbury. Man, there's so much to dive into today. Sean, appreciate you as always, man. How are you?
No problem. I'm doing good, Matt. How are you, buddy?
I'm awesome. I want to start on the college side today. We'll get to the NFL in our second segment, but in particular because in the last 24 hours, there have been this sort of flood of quarterbacks that have gone into the portal, and we know LSU is going to be quarterback hunting in the portal. And the guy that I think is the most interesting, if it gets past the two Ole Miss guys, would be DJ Lagway. So I'm told that Lane Kiffin actually thinks very highly of DJ Lagway. Someone we've talked about here before because you've known him since he was in high school. If you would, give me your thumbnail on what you think has gone wrong for Lagway during his 2 years in Gainesville.
Well, I think they were a very average team. And, I think that, and I've always put this on them to speak out of both sides of my mouth, unfortunately, is that great quarterbacks make the guys around him better. And I think at times he did. I think he was hampered by being banged up. And going back to his freshman year when he was discovered and everybody, oh my gosh, and it was a highly recruited kid, from this area and, not too far from me here in Houston. The first thing I noticed about him when I first met him, and that has not changed, is phenomenal character kid. Now, you don't know what goes on every single day or in their mind, but He treated everybody on the field the same. He had 2 ears and 1 mouth, and he used them accordingly until, he needed to speak, and was pretty precise and dynamic in everything he did. Truthfully, Maddie, when I was with him, this was like going into I believe it was his junior year. He was just coming out of a sophomore year. He stuck out. I'm always looking for wow factor on guys like that. When you first get there and people tell you who the guys are that are getting heavily recruited, and I had the high school guys, the quarterbacks, about 15 of them. After warm up and after one drill and throwing one-on-one routes on air, should I say, before one-on-one, I went up to the director of the camp and they said, "What do you think?" And I said, he's the best player we have. And that was before we got into 7-on-7 live drills. When I said best player, I meant at the time the most impressive so far. Big body, and as he had a really good high school career, as well witnessed by all those who recruited him. One thing I've never seen him waffle on. Now we can get into a shitty transfer, should he not? The comfort level with coaches and the system and having to impress a new coach. I get all that now. 10 years ago, I would have said, sit there and compete, join the new. But we've changed, man. We got to adapt and adjust and get out of our, old head stuff sometimes because the recruiting, what it's done to set college football on its ear. But there was nothing I didn't like about him. Gentleman, good player. Now, I wasn't involved. I've talked to other people about the leadership, and they seem to admire his leadership. I just saw him in a very calm, competitive, calm way, but he didn't miss much. I think the injuries, I think the team he's on, and, I know Billy is the head coach and calling plays there, but the question, how much good teaching, and Ryan, who was also the coordinator there, who called plays when Billy wasn't calling plays at the end of the season. He's a guy I worked with at camps with as well. And I think with him, more would have also helped DJ. But there's not much to dislike about him. You're going to get a good kid who players will rally around. But injuries and probably being in a position this year at times with expectations and understanding the schedule and being fully, not fully healthy the whole time, is that he, I think, tried to be a little bit of a hero at times and gets him in trouble. He can make every throw. If I'm Lane Kiffin, there's going to be people standing in line, just like there are for Sam Levitt, just like they will be from Ole Miss's guys and a few others. Maybe Raiola's involved in this as well, Cincinnati's quarterback. So there'll be a lot to choose from, and LSU is a top place to go because you're going to sell the Burrow times, and you're going to sell a quarterback whisperer and guru and great offensive coach and Lane Kiffin. What's not to like? So I would get it, but he's also probably going to go to a place that's comfortable and that's his gig when he goes in, and that'll be a lot of places. But he's not afraid to compete, and I think he has something to prove after what happened this past year.
There's some people suggesting Baylor would be there in the state of Texas, maybe get out of the SEC. But would it?
He was getting recruited heavily by all those schools when he was coming out, and you only choose one then. But rarely are we saying you only play at one now. So yeah, that could be a place too. It just depends on what he wants to do and how competitive he wants to be. And if he wants to prove to the SEC something. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Matty.
No, please, people want to hear you, not me. I was just going to ask how you think Lagway would fit in what Kiffin asks of his quarterbacks.
I would think Lane would have to adjust a little bit. The one thing is we've talked about with Leach in the past and the group that does, everybody now. You want to at least have the perception and at times mix it in, the built-in run, not just the scramble run, but the built-in run used efficiently. Now he did it in high school. He ran the football some. Now in Florida, some scramble runs, but you're not going to get the same RPO as you would at a guy who maybe is a straight line 4.48 guy or 4.5 guy. Maybe an adjustment there, but Lane's really good. We always talk about quarterback strengths. When I'm training them or if I'm evaluating them or I'm going to look, if I was a coach trying to bring them in, I want to find out also what they don't do well. One is to work on it and to grind on it so it's not a weakness or a perceived weakness from defense or something you're not comfortable with. But two is to close the gap so I know as a play caller and as a coach what to stay away from. That doesn't mean you're because he's good enough with bandwidth, but you're going to get a thrower first, a runner second, which I always love more. I don't remember the last time the number one team in the country has a guy that runs second, throws first in Indiana. And he'll probably be the first pick of the draft or at least the first quarterback taken. You can go around. The team who wins the national title is not going to have a guy who runs first throw second. I'm just telling you, it's not going to happen. Because if you can't beat people from that pocket and then extend, Joe Burrow, LSU's used to that. Breeze wasn't an escape guy. You got to be able to throw on time with accuracy. And Lane will want the ball out quickly. But you do want the threat. It'll be a little different because he's not going to take you 80 yards. He's not going to run for 90 each week. But enough to where defenses can't focus in on one launch point, I guess, is the easiest way. And launch point, for those who don't understand, is when we drive, is he dropping it back same place all the time where I can tee off. There's enough movement and athleticism for him to do what Lane does and play fast. And I think any quarterback would love it. They, like Tennessee, want to run 80 to 90 plays. I think he'd fit in fine. Great coaches don't adjust. Of course, the greatest coaches that we have in this league, the number one thing they do, they make sure their coaching staff and them adapt and adjust to the skill set. Because it sure wouldn't be smart to have Tom Brady run an RPO and be a run threat if you're New England in his day, right? You look around, Kurt Warner in his day. Now, when you get a guy like Warren Moon who could do both back in his day, or you get a guy in the NFL like Lamar now who's elevated, now it just increases. But you got to create the perception on defense. You better cover full field to defense. Also on the other side, just stay out of places that maybe a quarterback doesn't feel comfortable. That's the genius of a coach. We can all coach to a guy's strengths. Can you coach to his weakness and hide it, cover it, enhance it to make it a strength? DJ Lagway will fit in anyway. He ain't going to Army or Navy or Air Force, but he can fit in anywhere. It's just what you want to do. Lane knows this. The team that wins the national title will have played defense. The team that moving forward, going ahead, will have played defense, will have thrown the ball from the pocket on time with accuracy, and will have made a few plays when everything else breaks down that Lane can't teach, but the quarterbacks are skilled enough to do it. Lagway has the ability to do that. He just needs to stay healthy and get back to just being a football player. And Florida had a lot going on around them this year.
He just dropped out. All right, we'll grab our break and reconnect. I don't know what's going on. Let's just go phone. I don't know what's going on with the internet today. We'll knock out a break. We'll continue with Sean Salisbury on AFR.
After further review.
Man, I had an awesome call today with Darren James. Agent225.com, agent225.com. As a matter of fact, I woke up this morning, honest goodness, true story. Woke up this morning like I do every day, 5:30. I go get my cold plunge, and I check email when I'm sitting there for 6 minutes. And one of the first emails I had this morning was my market report that I get every week from Darren James. Every single week, I get a market report on what the real estate market in my area is doing from Darren James. Also, an up-to-date appraisal of my home's value. Agent225.com. The bottom line is, look, Darren has all of the systems in place to get your home sold faster for more money. And you're going to have an incredible experience with Darren James. He guarantees it. You need to sell your home, you need the best. You need Darren James. Go to agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and First American Bank and Trust bring you the Heart of the Game Award, recognizing student athletes who deliver when it counts. Nominate your game day standout at 1045ESPN.com by the 21st. We'll choose 5 male and 5 female finalists, and then it's up to the fans to vote for the winners. Each winner gets a $250 gift card, a custom award, and the spotlight they've earned. Presented by First American Bank and Trust, a banking tradition since 1910.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Huh. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Dr. Johnson, that's my guy. He gonna tell me when I need to do better. He gonna tell me when I need to slow down. And I trust him 100%. The medical care that I receive at LSU and with Our Lady of the Lake is top tier. I really trust what they telling me, and they keep me right.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
This menu is a masterpiece. Delivers every time.
This is the worst party ever. Raising Cane's!
Let's go!
The party is saved!
Peter, Mr. Billingsley.
Celebrate the holidays with Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit louisianapropane.com to find out about propane.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
All right, we got Sean Salisbury with us as we roll along. Sean, one quick thought before we move on to the NFL. I wanted a quick follow-up. If I gave you the option, if you're just thinking about LSU, Lane Kiffin, quarterback, any of these are possible. Forget about the mechanics of how it would work. If you could have Chambliss or Simmons, one of the Ole Miss guys, Lagway, Sorsby from Cincinnati, Levitt from Arizona State, or other, Raiola from Nebraska. If you could pick one, who would be at the top of your list for LSU and Lane Kiffin?
I think that the biggest upside as far as if you're looking at a Saturday, Sunday, guys, Lagway. I'm not talking about production. I'm talking about moving forward and what I know about them. I think the safest for him is guys from his school. No change in the happen to learn a system. The verbiage rolls right from off your tongue into spring practice, and you can almost, as a quarterback, help coach on the field because you're not sitting there laboring over a new, more verbiage and something new. You can roll right into playing as far as instead of thinking. And I think the intriguing one for me is because I think Cincinnati. I love his face. He's like whenever I get a guy coming out of Cincinnati, there's some fire in their belly. I like that. I heard the talk about possible Texas Tech playmaker. I get it. For me, the safest one, but I'm intrigued with Levitt. He was coached by a guy who understands spread it out and go do it. He elevated a team that really you wondered. I mean, nobody had them going to the playoff last year. Mm-hmm. I like the energy he brought to it as well, and I think he's got the ability to do both. I think that the thing is, are you looking for comfort level? That's your guys. Are you looking for upside? You think I can take him to a whole new level? I think that Levitt gives you a little bit of everything. And then, like I said, and I think he is a competitive sucker who's a really good player. I think he's got a chance if he elevates next year to be a first-round pick. The best thrower, pure thrower in my mind, is Lagway. I think a lot of the guys coming back to school are making the wise move that aren't ready for the NFL that people thought. But I don't think you go wrong. I think the comfort level, if you land one, and you know what? Maybe you want more than one. Then maybe that's the case. You may do that too. So, but if you're going after two big-time guys, you're not going to bring them both in because one's going to turn around and say, no, I'm going to leave again if I'm not starting. So Lagway as a thrower understands that conference. I'm probably most intrigued just on competitiveness and what he does with Levitt, but I think Lagway's the best pure thrower. But with Lane's system, anybody that's got a little more movement with an arm,
the guys he just left are pretty good.
Yeah. Sean Salisbury's with us at Sean Unfiltered, where you get him on X. He's the National Football Director for the National Scouting Report, NSR, which is so cool to be able to talk about that good bit and obviously be able to tap into that expertise. Sean, as we turn the page, the New Orleans Saints win again. They beat Carolina 20-17, and Tyler Shuck, when you had to have it for the second consecutive week in the fourth quarter, back-to-back scoring drives to tie it and then ultimately take the lead. It's something we've talked about almost every week here now since he's taken over, but what sort of development are you seeing from start 1 now to start 6 for Tyler Shuck?
To me, his ability to process information pretty friggin' quickly is a good thing, and it's showing up. Look at the balance that they called plays with, run to pass, and that has a lot to do with making sure you're not always playing behind. His feet, I continue to say, are underrated. His ability to extend the play is underrated. I know, and then to take the hit and have the fire and get your team a 19-yard gain to be in position to, to kick a shorter field goal to win. There's some guts about him, man. And I'm not saying other guys don't, but something's different. Most of all, he's winning. He's winning, and he's winning in competitive, tough situations when it's kind of stacked against him. As I may have mentioned, I think I did last week, but it bears mentioning again. The guy has played a lot of football. We shouldn't be shocked. I understand the Saints and the personnel, but you shouldn't be shocked about it. He's mentally tough enough to handle failure, which I love. Secondly, there's a propensity that he's taking a few more chances, but smart ones. And he's using both. He's not trying to do everything, and in the process, he's doing a lot. And he is, while not only responsible, because it's never that way, but if he doesn't get some clutch throws and make some big throws and hang in the pocket or escape when necessary, you're not winning these games. He's been a big reason why you're not winning in spite of him. There's a big part of it that you're winning because of him. Mm-hmm. And this is a rookie, but he's a rookie like prep school rookie. You know what I'm saying? With the extra years, your prep school, maybe you went to prep school to get stuff. You needed another year. That's what it feels like because he's played a lot of football. So I don't think we should be shocked at his poise and the way he's handling things. And as I said last week, and we'll say again, if this ascent continues, right now, as we sit today, now maybe Mendoza, we got 1 year on Mendoza, right? One. Mm-hmm. Arch is going back. We already know that a couple of the other quarterbacks, the SC's quarterbacks, going back to school. The guys that have been held in pretty high regard. But is there a guy legitimately in this draft right now that you say, no-brainer, if I had the pick, I would take him over Shook right now? If he was in this draft class, he wouldn't be a mid-round pick. So I know he's been at a couple schools, but the poise and the processing of information and I'm judging him even harder and how he handles being thrown into with is a very tough situation with a lack of personnel that's getting better with him on the field. And it's like I said, everybody's not the same. They're not all getting trophies. And instead of not studying and preparing, he knew the time was going to present itself and he was ready. I don't know what that's going to mean, victories in the next few weeks. But if you're judging him harshly, you got to like the accuracy last week, getting better, big playability, shots on the deep ball where you just can't squeeze him. He will take his chances. But that's a guy who understands not only the limitations, but what he can do. And I got to believe that, I don't know what Kellen's saying locally on a regular basis, but I got to believe he enjoys the way they're doing it. Plus, the number one object, and I don't care how you do it, find ways, man. Find ways to win, find ways to keep moving, and find ways to keep the ball out of somebody else's hands. I would not. Now, Mendoza's a really good player. I mean, he is. But, I mean, do we know that year two is going to be as good in the NFL? What's he going to face? What's his toughness like when you're not winning every game? I mean, we saw that in a few games this year, but there's not one guy that's trying to say, oh, head and shoulders, no way. He's so much better. And not Klubnik. I mean, we thought going in they would be. Sellers staying in school as well. Mm-hmm. I'm going to tell you right now, I wouldn't waste a first-round pick on a quarterback if I'm sitting in the 4 or 5 hole. Meaning, don't just draft one because now the Saints know about that because they don't draft them high. Right. But don't just draft somebody because, well, the fan base wants you to. Shook's got another 3-4 games to finish strong and to post his score. And if he posts it like he has, I don't believe there's any way the Saints draft a quarterback with their first, with the first pick, whenever that comes, wherever they are in that draft.
Let me play devil's advocate. He started 6 games. They're averaging 16 points per game. Why should we be convinced about Tyler Shuck when the Saints are only scoring 16 points a game with him as the quarterback over these 6 starts?
Well, I'm not, and you may not be convinced, but why wouldn't you be convinced with the personnel? I'm not so sure that personnel has 16 points in them on a regular basis. Okay,
it's so true.
I never. When I do this, isn't knee jerk. I'm talking about specifically for the Saints. What we've seen, if this ascent continues, meaning next week maybe it's 23. Next week, I mean, let's be fair. We even give quarterbacks. I mean, let's just use Baker Mayfield for an example. When they were all healthy and exploding and winning all the time, man, it's great they got weapons. We have created hall passes for guys. Yeah, but they're hurt. They're 2 running backs or 3 wide receivers hurt. Not just him, but we start to build in reasons why, well, the guy will be better. Now, I would ask you on the other side, let me play devil's advocate to your devil's advocate. If Shook had the Los Angeles Rams weapons, what's that look like to you?
Yeah.
16 points a game or 26 points a game?
Man, that's like you're speaking my language. It's like go get this guy a legit number 1 and spend money in free agency on an interior offensive lineman. I mean, Sean, the Saints offensive line on Sunday committed 9 penalties and he got sacked and he got sacked 5 times.
And they still found a way to put it.
And they won the game.
So,
yeah.
And that's part of the evaluation, Matty, that I am. Like I said, if they're rolling along, okay, it's going for 270 and he's kicking butt and playing well, and I get it. But start to think now about securing the interior of the pocket and not letting the guy take all these hits. It's not just the sacks, hits add up as well. And he keeps surviving it. No excuses. Keep playing. And winning at a time against division teams that are fighting for winning a division. And he's keeping them in every game, not just him. Of course, there's 11 cats out there. But like I said, I have never sell out to a guy who's given me 1 year or 6 starts. I'm just saying the ascent looks pretty impressive. So while somebody's giving me, but we're only averaging 16. Well, damn. To me, with Puka Nacua and 2 other receivers and an interior, and you got Quentin Nelson or, guys like that in the prime of their career throwing off the interior, or a Lane Johnson on the edge, blocking edge rushers. Now tell me what that looks like. Don't look at just the result of points when people are watching them. Look how they got there. Look at the fine things, not just to open up and their stat, not you, Matty, but stats.
Right.
Oh, yeah, we only scored 16 offensive points. We only scored 20, or we scored 18, or we scored 21. Start to look how you got there and what led up to that, and then say, okay, let me add a few new shiny objects to it. So that's what I want. I want to see the throw in traffic. Does he throw it on time? I want to see the deep ball. Does he fade him away from trouble? I want to see his decision-making when you're a decision-maker as a quarterback and you are playing against better teams and you're fighting for your football life, meaning your starting job, and he knows that they would consider drafting somebody. What do? We all grip it harder, it doesn't matter what sport it is or what job you're in. We try a little too hard instead of just allowing it still to be football, still to be 100 yards long, and throw on time and do those things and let it happen. And then when you need to force the issue, you do without putting your team in a bind. And overall, considering the circumstances, and think, what was he, the 40th pick, Matty?
Yep.
42nd pick?
40th, yep, 40.
Okay, so what that tells me is with another coach in another situation, he could have been picked 10 picks earlier. He could have been picked 5 picks later. They draft him at 40, and this may end up being a bargain down the road. Still way too early in the infancy of it. That's why we can have this conversation at the end. But if you see what you see and it expands the next 3 or 4 weeks and season's over and they go into the off season and you're saying, we need this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. Of all the weaknesses you have, is he the biggest weakness? And the answer is unequivocally no. That's how I would judge Shook. And I think that he has answered, at least initially, what it takes. And you haven't seen the game go south as we got into December.
Right.
You've seen it the other way, which tells me something.
Last thing for you. The Saints play the Jets this weekend in the Dome. And the Jets defensively have just been absolutely atrocious. But objectively, I'm looking at the Saints that are a 4-10 football team and not taking anything for granted. given what you know about the Jets defensively, I mean, they went fire sale at the deadline with Gardner and Williams and Carter and everybody. But what do you look for the Saints offensively against this Jets defense on Sunday?
Listen, as long as you can, which has been difficult, with his decision-making, you don't have to go to an inclement weather type game.
Right.
It is a pro football team, and we've had this conversation for a while. The Saints are going to play Carolina, and then they beat Carolina. Oh, they're going to play, and then they beat this. So every week we have the conversation. Man, how the Colts can't compete with the Seahawks. They took them to a 50-some-yard field goal to win it with a 44-year-old quarterback. So who the hell knows? But I do know this, that if they will sew up and make sure, which was a perceived, that they had some players at least early in the season that could get to the quarterback, this defense is putrid. The Jets are packed and ready to go to the offseason. Make zero mistake. There'll be some leaders that try to keep them in it. I don't – and when's the last time you went into a game saying the Saints are better than the team they're playing? Not that they were going to beat them, but I'm just talking about pregame. I don't even know what this line is. The Saints have to be favored in this game.
4.5.
There you go. So – and that's like 27.5 in a game, because you're playing Tennessee Chattanooga if you're Ohio State or Alabama this weekend or LSU. So and Tennessee Chattanooga may be good this year. I don't know what the record is.
I know what you mean.
You're right.
The mock's out here taking strays from Sean.
That's exactly right. No, then I'll go to Slippery Rock, but they were pretty good this year too.
Yeah.
So Bowling Green, whatever. But I listen, if you don't turn it over, and you play like you just keep him upright at times, just to limit the hits and some sacks, and he protects it. They'll beat the Jets. The Jets are they are a team that I do believe their engines are started in their vehicles. They are they are a bad football team with some good players, but I don't know how many of them are still all in. Boy, that team went south in a hurry with all the changes, and like you said, a fire sale defensively. Just keep him upright most of the time, and don't give the Jets a short field. And I think a little confidence carries over. I like the Saints in the game on just straight up, but I don't even have a problem with 4.5 points with them as a favorite. They're a better team than the Jets, and there's nothing that tells me the Jets I have zero confidence moving forward with the Jets. Not only this year, they got a lot to prove this offseason to prove that they even care. That's a bad football team.
He's Sean Salisbury, the host of Unpaved weekdays on YouTube. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. He's also the National Football Director for the National Scouting Report. He's on Twitter at Sean Unfiltered. Man, we always appreciate it. Thanks for the time and the insight every week, man.
My pleasure, brother. Have a great one. Thank you.
You do the same. That's Sean Salisbury. It's AFR. We're brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows door siding. Oh, yeah. They do shutters, too, at Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. You ever, walk by a window when it's 27 degrees outside and you just feel all that cold air, the draft? That's because you have leaky air. You have leaky windows. It's air coming through right there because cracks and crevices, and those air leaks are costly. Think about your heater trying to work to keep your home warm, and you're constantly letting cool air in because of those leaky windows. You can fix that today forever with Relief Windows. And forever because at Relief Windows, you install once, you're done forever. They come with a lifetime transferable warranty on labor, material, and glass breakage. They're never going to be the cheapest. I say it every day. If you're just shopping, you're going to get quotes to see who's going to sell you windows the cheapest. That is not going to be Relief Windows. But you want the best product, the best service, a true lifetime transferable warranty that lasts. Remember what your mama told you when you were young. You get what you pay for. You do it right, you do it once, you're done forever. Relief Windows. ReliefWindows.com. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break. Speaking of the draft, Mel Kiper has updated his big board. I do want to talk about a little bit what he's got for the LSU guys projected to this upcoming draft. Otter Locks in about 15 minutes. Stick around here on AFR.
After further review.
I want to take 60 seconds and remind you about Derek Duplessis, my friends over at Duplessis Builders. Great local company. Derek from Ascension Parish, went to LSU, degree in mechanical engineering, was working as an engineer. Sister wanted to build a pool. He said, I think I can do it. Studied, learned, built her pool, did 8 pools that first year. Now, boom, one of the fastest growing pool companies in the country, and voted this year by Pool and Spa Magazine as a top 50 pool builder in America. I could tell you about Derek, how great of a dude he is, how ethical a dude he is. That should speak to itself from the 12 Days of Christmas giveaway, the Dream Pool giveaway that he's doing with Dreams Come True Louisiana, the many different philanthropic ways he gives back. But most importantly, when we're talking about the work, a 10-year workmanship warranty. The industry standard is 1 year. Derek Duplessis gives you a 10-year workmanship warranty. Stands by the work they do. It's DuplessisBuilders.net. DuplessisBuilders.net.
Trust isn't given. It's earned. On the field, I trust my team. For my healthcare, I trust the lake.
Our Lady of the Lake sports medicine experts know what it takes to improve performance and build champions at every level. That's why LSU chose Our Lady of the Lake as its championship health partner, trusting Louisiana's best medical team to care for our state's best athletes. From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
I trust the lake.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Dr. Johnson, that's my guy. He gonna tell me when I need to do better. He gonna tell me when I need to slow down. And I trust him 100%. The medical care that I receive at LSU and with Our Lady of the Lake is top tier. I really trust what they telling me, and they keep me right.
I'm lawyer Collins Locke Meredith. Among the most important factors to consider when you're hiring an injury attorney is trust. You trust your attorney will put your interest first, treat you with respect, fairness, and honesty. You trust them to be there for you when you need them. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, thousands of clients have trusted us to represent them, and for good reasons. Please visit us at LockeMeredith.com to learn more, and whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe. My whole team on wild.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs. Set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free confidential help now.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more...
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Plowing these fields in the hot summer sun, over by the gate, Lordy.
All right, rolling along here. We'll get to Jimmy in about 10 minutes for Otterlocks. Muse will do the honors today. I got to jet to a Christmas party, so Muse will handle Otterlocks. Jimmy, we do have a bowl game tonight. It's there in Montgomery. It's Jacksonville State against Troy. The entire state of Alabama is going to be locked in. Okay, probably not. But if you love football and you're a degenerate gambler, you'll be locked in. What's that bowl called again tonight? Is it the Venture 68? Or is that the one two ULL's in? What's it called?
Let's see. I can get that for you right now. It is the Crampton Bowl.
That's not right.
Oh, sorry. That's where they're playing the game. It's the IS4S Salute to Veterans Bowl.
Salute to Veterans Bowl. That's it. Salute to Veterans Bowl. That's right. Salute to Veterans Bowl. And then the Venture 68 or whatever is the one that Cajuns are playing in against Delaware.
The Blue Hens.
That's tomorrow. Bowl season's here, y'all. I love it because it's football. It's football to watch and it's stuff to bet on. Mel Kiper's updated his big board, And if you're not familiar, it's the top. This isn't a mock draft. This is just rating the top 25 overall prospects and then the top 10 at each position. He's got Mansour Delane, number 23 overall. A lot of mock drafts have Delane higher, like going higher than this. And a lot of that is just because of the position he plays, right? If you're talking about an elite level corner, those tend to go high in the draft. Kuiper's got Dante Moore, Fernando Mendoza, 1, 2, Jeremiah Love, 3, then Arvell Reese, the linebacker from Ohio State, 4. I'm going to tell you straight up, if Arvell Reese is on the board and the Saints have an opportunity to take him, I'd be over the moon. If Jordan Tyson, the wide receiver from Arizona State, was on the board when the Saints are picking, I'd be fired up. Same with Carnell Tate, Mekhi Lemon from Ohio State, USC, respectively. If you get an elite level receiver, a dominant lockdown corner, or an edge rusher with your first pick, I'd be fired up. For whatever it's worth, Kuiper does have Jermon McCoy, the cornerback from Tennessee, number 13 on his big board. Of course, McCoy is injured and didn't play this year, or has barely played this year. So he's got Kelly Jones from Mississippi State also out there. As far as quarterbacks, as far as the positional rankings, he's got Nuss as the 8th best quarterback in the draft. And it's pretty thin. None of LSU's receivers among the top 10. You'd have to go to none of the offensive linemen, naturally. A little surprised, though, Braylon Moore at center, if he does go into the draft, could project as one of the better centers in this draft. So we'll see how that may project. But defensively, I really thought you'd probably see a little bit of a heavier presence on the outside linebackers, the edge players, because of Harold Perkins, who he is just outside of the top 10 on outside linebackers, and some of the guys we've talked about, Patrick Payton, Jack Pyburn, those guys not in the top 10 positional rankings either. So it'll be, I think it'd be very interesting to see how many of those guys get picked and where, because my contention all along with this LSU team is that the biggest indictment on this team going 7-5 is going to come in April with the draft, because you're probably going to see double-digit guys drafted. I think it's just a matter of where they get picked. A.J. Halsey, by the way, he does have as the 8th best safety in this year's draft. So April's draft, but a lot of guys have a lot of opportunity between now and the April draft with the Combine, with Pro Day, with Senior Bowl, East-West Shrine Game, and we'll see how these guys do. The opportunity to get healthy, get prepped up, go to the go be workout warriors and see if you can answer some questions and pass a physical and a medical and get healthy and get ready for the draft in April. So we'll keep you posted as we move through all that for the LSU guys and, of course, what the Saints might be targeting as well. Man, I always love telling you about Evermore, and I say it every day, y'all, especially this time of year where when it's 27 degrees outside, you don't really get parched, but it's a reminder. It's why I love to carry a 64-ounce bottle of Evermore with me all day, because it's a reminder to drink water, to stay hydrated. If you're sick or feeling under the weather, or a great way to boost your immunity to prevent sickness is stay hydrated. You don't need to take my word for it. Ask any physician. Google it. Ask WebMD. Whatever. Stay hydrated. And Evermore is natural artesian water. It's a better form of hydration. It's an all-natural product, and it's a Louisiana product as well. So it's got national distribution, but it's a Louisiana product right there in Covington on the North Shore. So drink Evermore. EVAMOR. Evermore.com. Available at great local retailers or online at evermore.com. You can find the retailer nearest you at evermore.com. All right, it's after further review. If you missed anything, remember AFR On Demand, presented by Breck Golf. Book your tee time at golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org. Podcast, YouTube. You miss any of the show, you can find it. Real quick before we break and get to Otterlocks, we talked plenty of portal quarterback stuff today. The other player that I think is really worth keeping an eye on is what happens with Kwan Lacey, the running back from Ole Miss. And I talked about him a day ago, but the more I keep, digging in over with people around Ole Miss, it sure sounds like Kwan Lacey and Kevin Smith are going to be a package deal wherever they go. And I don't think it necessarily means they stay at LSU or stay at Ole Miss or go to LSU. It could be anywhere. I think there's a really good chance that Kevin Smith and Kwan Lacey both end up at LSU. But Lacey was asked that point blank, is he following Lane Kiffin to LSU?
Kwan, so there was a video leaked out, some audio of Lane talking about you specifically, how you going to follow him to LSU. When you saw that come out, what was your response to it?
It was just a surprise. I just been keeping my mindset on just trying to go 1-0 and focus on the run we're having right now. So I don't get into all of that.
A very poorly worded question, which the better question would have been, are you following Lane Kiffin to LSU? Not what's your response to that? And it allows him the open door not to answer the question. But my initial thought when I saw that video, if you haven't heard it, you could find it anywhere. It's a recording of a cell phone call with what is purported to be Lane Kiffin, and I was told today that is 100% real. That is a real video that's leaked out where it sounds like Kiffin is saying that Kawan Lacey and Kevin Smith are coming to LSU. And I, by the way, do believe there's an overwhelming possibility that happens. And I think if I had to guess today, and again, like we talk about with coaching carousel and stuff all the time, if I had to guess today, I would tell you that I think Frank Wilson ends up at Ole Miss. I think basically Kevin Smith and Frank Wilson switch spots. I think Smith will be here and Frank Wilson will be at Ole Miss. And then the question becomes, if Kawan Lacey comes to Baton Rouge, does Harlan Berry follow Frank Wilson Ole Miss? I don't know the answer to any of those questions, by the way, but if you're not asking that question logically, then you're not asking the right question. So I just don't think that we're done seeing the roster and coaching and staff interchange there with LSU and Ole Miss. And I think there's a really good chance that we see Frank Wilson on peak holding staff at Ole Miss. We'll see what happens with Kawan Lacey and a lot of these guys still. All right, it's after further review. I'm actually getting out of here because I'm going to the Our Lady of the Lake Christmas party at Supper Club. So you can't go to Supper Club tonight because we got the Our Lady of the Lake Christmas party over there tonight. But I would highly recommend any other night that they're open that you make your way to Supper Club because it is divine. I am really looking forward to getting over there tonight, having a glass of wine, maybe whiskey, and eating some delicious food and celebrating the holidays and the Christmas season with amazing people. SupperClubBTR.com. SupperClubBTR.com is where you can book your reservations. Small group, private room is available. A dozen people or so. Actually, I think we went there for my birthday a year ago, and I think 15, 16 people there. You can fit a good number of people there in the private room there at Supper Club as well. But no matter where you sit, no matter what you eat, it's going to be the best dining experience you've ever had. Right there on Perkins Road in Baton Rouge near Bluebonnet, SupperClubBTR.com for your reservation, SupperClubBTR.com. And get by, whatever you do before Christmas, get by, even if you just walk in and have a cocktail or a glass of wine at the bar, so you can see all the beautiful Christmas decor, take some photos in there as well here this Christmas season. It's Supper Club, SupperClubBTR.com. All right, y'all, it's after further review. We'll knock out our quick break. Muse will handle Otter Locks to wrap up the show next on AFR.
AFR.
But first, I do have to remind you about Rev. R-E-V. Let'sRev.com, Let'sRev.com, Let'sRev.com. There's a lot of reasons to work with Rev. No matter who is your current internet service provider, who currently handles your cable, your home security, your home automation, all that sort of stuff, there's a lot of reasons to switch to Rev. First of all, we're talking about faster internet speeds, up to 5 gigs. This is faster, more reliable internet. Who doesn't want that? The Wi-Fi equipment is included at no additional cost with Rev. There are no long-term contracts with Rev. There's no unexpected price increases after your promotional period ends. The price is the price with Rev. There's no data caps. There's no hidden bandwidth overage charges, and it's 100% local service and support with Rev. R-E-V. TV, phone, security, home automation, high-speed internet. What are you waiting for? Time to switch is today. R-E-V. Let'sRev.com.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Flight by Yingling. Raise the bar.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
I'm lawyer Collins Locke Meredith. Among the most important factors to consider when you're hiring an injury attorney is trust. You trust your attorney will put your interest first, treat you with respect, fairness, and honesty. You trust them to be there for you when you need them. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, thousands of clients have trusted us to represent them, and for good reasons. Please visit us at LockeMeredith.com to learn more, and whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
Most roofers just replace your shingles. At Pelican, we diagnose your roof, digging deep down to find the root cause of your roof symptoms. Now cough for me? Good. We don't ignore your roof's issues, we address them. Let's just take care of this right here. Helping your roof to become the best version of itself. Interesting that you would say that. How does that make you feel? So call Pelican Roofing for your free roof checkup today.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
All right, closing up shop here, a Tuesday edition of AFR presented by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. We'll wrap it up with the final thing to do. Find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Auto Locks.
Auto Locks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Total Maintenance AC Repair. Same-day service means you will never sleep hot. 480-1000. We are Total Maintenance.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
All right, we got plenty to pick from tonight. Otter, how are you?
Good, Matt. How about you, buddy?
I'm doing well. We got some bowl games. We got NBA. We got college basketball. What are we looking at?
Let's start off with the NBA on Prime tonight, and the San Antonio Spurs upset the Oklahoma City Thunder as like 9-point underdogs, and beat them for 24-1 before that game. I thought it was an easy route for them to the championship. But anyway, on Saturday night they pulled the upset, and Wembanyama had 20 minutes. Played 20 minutes. So doing a minutes restriction. He had 20. He was a plus 21 plus minus. So it was the largest in the. It was the largest in the game. So he made a big difference. But to do that again, he's still on his minutes restriction. He's going to play about 20 to 25 minutes again, only half the time. I don't think that's going to be enough. We're going to take the Knicks minus 2.5. You know the team is motivated tonight in Las Vegas. So the Knicks minus 2.5. Got an adjustment in the college basketball move. So Tennessee, we gave out to Hunt earlier today at minus 2.5. It's at 4.5 right now at DraftKings. So you hadn't gotten on it now, I wouldn't do it at this point. But, again, 2 points in the college basketball game's a lot. So pays to be on those alerts for LouisianaSports.net. Clemson is a team that we've been backing. They've been cashing tickets as well. Lost a couple of tough ones, man, on the road. One of those in Tuscaloosa as part of the ACC-SEC Challenge. And also, but they're a good team now. Rivalry game at home against South Carolina. Look for Clemson to roll minus a 12.5. And we have one add-on that we did not include in the on the website of LouisianaSports.net. That's the bowl game tonight. We're going to take Troy. These are two teams that were runners-up, so lost their conference championship game. Jacksonville State got scored on the last minute by Kennesaw State. And Troy had to go to James Madison. And as a big dog, they covered and were way more competitive than a lot of people thought. It was a 3-point game going into the fourth quarter. So we're going to take the Troy State team tonight, plus the 3 now at DraftKings.
The battle for Alabama in Alabama, the Salute to Veterans Bowl. Troy and Jacksonville State.
It's all in the family.
So we've been saying all week, Otto. That's the game everyone's looking forward to over there in Alabama. Nothing going on Friday. Where are y'all tomorrow?
Tomorrow we're at Iverstein Butcher on Perkins near Star and getting you ready for your holiday food. So looking forward to that.
Join Otter and Hanny over there live at lunch, 11 to 1 here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Otter, we appreciate it as always. Thank you and good luck.
All right, good luck, buddy.
That is Jimmy Ott. This is After Further Review. Wrapping up here on a Tuesday show presented by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Just a quick recap there of Otter's picks. The add-on of the bowl game that you just heard, taking Troy plus the 3 over Jacksonville State. He's also on the Knicks in the association, minus 2.5 against the San Antonio Spurs. Gave out the Tennessee Volunteers minus 2.5 earlier on the website. That is up to 4.5 now. Otter said, probably stay away if you didn't get on it earlier. Remember, all chalk early, dogs late, as Otter always says. And then Clemson minus the 12.5 in college basketball as well. Those are your Tuesday Otter locks. That's just about going to wrap it up for us here. Thank you to Shea Dixon. Thank you to Eddie Radosevich. Of course, Sean Salisbury for 2 segments with us in the 5 o'clock hour. Great insight as always from those three. We'll take a closer look at the Jets tomorrow and check in on Texas A&M as they prepare for the college football playoff. That's just about going to send us in. Thanks for tuning in. Y'all be here again on Wednesday.
AFR.
Quick reminder about Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. They're the best. If you are, gentlemen, thinking about popping the question and you're thinking about where am I going to go buy that diamond, I want you to consider this. There are places that will sell you man-made lab diamonds, but what are you buying? It's according to its makeup and characteristics, sure, diamond. But is it going to hold its value? Like, is that the way you want to say, I love you, I want to spend the rest of my life with you? Go to Lee Michaels. Go to Lee Michaels. Walk in the door. Experience the thing I talk about all the time, which is the Lee Michaels experience. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry with 10 locations. Baton Rouge, 2 locations in Baton Rouge. New Orleans, Lafayette, Shreveport, Mississippi, Texas as well. 10 locations across 3 states. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Thrill her, gentlemen. Thrill her with a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry.
Trust isn't given. It's earned. On the field, I trust my team. For my healthcare, I trust the lake.
Our Lady of the Lake sports medicine experts know what it takes to improve performance and build champions at every level. That's why LSU chose Our Lady of the Lake as its championship health partner, trusting Louisiana's best medical team to care for our state's best athletes. From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
I trust the lake.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and First American Bank and Trust bring you the Heart of the Game Award, recognizing student athletes who deliver when it counts. Nominate your game day standout at 1045ESPN.com by the 21st. We'll choose 5 male and 5 female finalists, and then it's up to the fans to vote for the winners. Each winner gets a $250 gift card, a custom award, and the spotlight they've earned. Presented by First American Bank and Trust, a banking tradition since 1910.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. If you're battling an insurance company because of a wreck not your fault and they're not calling you back or being fair, whether you hire us at all, give us a call, 272-5555, or email Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates. You have nothing to lose.
Hello, I'm Collins Meredith. If you've been injured on the job, you likely have a workers' compensation claim, but you may also have a tort claim, which opens up significant recovery rights not normally available for a work injury. If this is you, call us or come see us at Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free, confidential help now.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Flight by Yingling. Raise the bar.